still marked 2 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Wood had us guessing as well. Daniels in trouble. He scampers. We see him in the open field before. He's going to do it again. Owen Daniels, 19-yard touchdown.
What a great way to survive a broken pass play right there. What a great way. And the whole right-half side of the field, Jeff, was wide open. Just nobody there. It was strong left all the way.
There's the boot. It's going to be on the far side to Yarborough. He fakes it back. And a pleasant hello to everyone as we prepare for quarterfinal IHSA Class 6A football. Third round play coming your way on the far side of Memorial Field. You are seeing the fandom that is the Redskins of Naperville Central and their glossy 11-0 mark. #1 rating in the state, and they indeed are number 8 in the nation. The Red Hawks, I'm going to get that right, the Red Hawks with that wonderful nickname that they are, and the Royals, we are a 9-2 mark they have as we get ready for, well, it's going to be a very interesting Saturday afternoon at Memorial Field in Elgin.
One of the greatest days in football here, weather-wise here for the Larkin Royals at Memorial Field right here in Elgin. We're glad to have our cable listeners and viewers with us all the way on the Naperville side of things with AT&T Cable Services. You're looking at one of the 2 best teams in the state of Illinois, really one of the best 8 teams in the state of Illinois, as the Larkin Royals come off the field now after they've warmed up, and they're going to gather around their head coach, Dale Shabert, and you're also going to see, as you see there now, the Red Hawks of Naperville Central, #1 in the state, and as many are saying that they are rated as high as #8 in the country, according to USA Today newspaper.
They've got the great offensive weapons. These 2 teams really similar in the sense that Ryan Clifford, the great star for the Red Hawks, has gained over 2,000 yards all-purpose-wise this year, scored 33 touchdowns on the ground, 38 total. And as Royals fans know, they have a wide assortment. Trevan Hayes has had a great all-purpose season. Mr. Hayes has, and 947 yards on the ground, 7 touchdowns that way. Matt Shabert, the fine quarterback for the Royals, headed for Wisconsin, as is Hayes, has had a tremendous season of passing, 29 touchdowns. He's the all-time leader as far as passing for at least 100 yards in consecutive games in the state of Illinois. So this matches up a lot of skilled position performers that are well-known up and down the Fox Valley.
Taking a look at the rankings, you know, Larkin came into this 6A tournament for the 5th year in a row. They were seeded number 24. They defeated Lane Tech in their first game. Then they also defeated Jacobs in their second game, Algonquin Jacobs. And now they are really, they're really into it right now as the #1 team in the state. Will be kicking off to the Royals, and this will give the Larkin Royals an opportunity to get on first with their offense.
Kyle Adams will kick it away for the Red Hawks. Adams coming off a game that saw him kick 3 field goals in the victory over Wheaton Warrenville last week for the Red Hawks. Adams had field goals of 21, 23, and 28 yards, so that's pretty good for a high school kid, and we're just about ready to go.
Absolutely. A great day to be here at Memorial Field. 8 teams remain in Class 6A. Here are 2 of them.
Here's the boot. Back in deep formation, it's Hayes, Yarborough, and Johnson. Hayes has got it in his own end zone. He's not coming out. As you see, Trevan right there, number 33, says, I'm not coming out. And that's a rare occurrence, him not returning that football.
Probably the best kickoff the Larkin Royals have seen all year as well. So this will give Larkin a chance to set up on offense, and we'll get a good look at the Naperville Red Hawks defensive front line.
Yes, we will, and the defense that you see right there. And we're going to see the Royals come into your picture here in just a moment. So there's the Royals against those Red Hawks. Again, being led out by Matt Shabert. Shabert, 29 touchdowns, just 7 interceptions, threw 271 times during this season. Completed 174 passes. Gonna hand it off, he will, to Hayes, who falls forward for a handful of yards.
Brought down by Joe Alvarez, 6'3", 235-pound junior for the Red Hawks of Naperville. This team, Jeff, is loaded with some beef, no question about it. Front line on offense and in defense as well.
They have a few more poundage as far as the men up front are concerned. Shabert coming into the huddle there. Again, he gets the plays from the sideline from his coach and his dad, and then races in the huddle to break it, as you see right there. A 2nd and 6 it will be from his own 24-yard line. I formation for the Royals. Shabert shouts it out, drops back, looks like he's going to throw. He'll toss it into the flat. Showers got it. He's at the 35, 40, 45 for Steve at midfield.
Steve Shower was a very integral part in the Larkin playoff victory against Jacobs last year. And now, as I say, Jeff, as I've said earlier in the week, the key to Larkin's success is getting on board with that passing game. If they can make some quick scoring strikes here, they could put Naperville back on their haunches.
Could indeed happen. Shower had 3 touchdowns in the victory over Jacobs, which was 48-21 back on November 6th. That would have been. So from the shotgun, here's Shabert from midfield. We've just begun quarterfinal action, Class 6A, Memorial Field, Elgin. Man in motion. Shabert's going to scamper this way. He runs a lot. He's going to keep the football this time. He brought down at the line of scrimmage.
Brought down by number 42 for the Red Hawks. That's Scott Urban, 6'3", 195-pound linebacker who is a senior for Naperville.
It will set up about a 2nd and 10 after the no gain by Shabert. Looked like he might have been stunned a little bit, but he's a tough kid. Also has played some defensive back. Not in this game he will, but over this season he has, and in previous years extensively. Once again from the shotgun. Again, it's a tremendous throwing franchise, if you will, for the Royals. Shabert, scamper that way, look into the flat. He'll toss it to Hayes. Hayes at the 45. Hayes brought down at about the 43-yard line.
Nice move for Trevan Hayes as he got away and picked up an extra 3 or 4 yards before being brought down by number 48, Matt Poremba, the 6'2", 220-pound senior for the Naperville Central Redhawks.
Outside of Wheaton-Warrenville, the Red Hawk team has been tested most by Glenbard East, still alive as far as this time is concerned playoff-wise. A game that was 31-20, the Red Hawks won that. They're not used to trailing, and they're not used to seeing almost a mere copy of them offensively. So it will be 3rd and a short 2 for the Royals. Pitch it back to Hayes, almost fumbled it, keeps it, and he's going to be awfully close to that first down. Probably has it before the pile is pushed back.
The mark on this play, Jeff, is going to be very, very important. Is number 72 for the Naperville Redhawks. Again, in on the tackle there. That's Joe Alvarez, 6'3", 235 pounds. And it is a first down for the Larkin Royals. Very important for the Larkin Royals to assert themselves, I think, Jeff, on this opening possession.
Their second first down in this series. 5 plays so far to the series. 26-yard pass play from Shabert Shower was the high water mark so far. Going to have lots of receivers on the near side, as you can see right now, on the 1st and 10. Shabert from the shotgun again. He's going to look that way into the flat. It's Turner Pugh with the catch at the 35, falls forward to the 33.
One of the things that Larkin is not going to see this week that they saw last week are missed tackles. Number 27 for Naperville Central, Brian Euler, in on the tackle there. You're not going to see, I don't think, Jeff, by the quality of this team, you're not going to see a lot of missed tackles from Naperville Central.
I would think not. This is a team that in 1995, the Red Hawks, of course, played for the championship and down at Illinois State University. Lost it by 1 point. Gonna have a split backfield there. Far man out on the far side. We go to Hayes. Hayes is brought down in the backfield. That's a rare occurrence. Hit twice, finally brought down with a loss of yardage.
Key to that play, Jeff, was number 47, Luke Summers, beating the block by Shimon Scruggs to get into the backfield. Shimon lost the block on that, and that's what caused the tackle and a loss.
Summers 5'11", 210, and a junior. Lots of juniors on this Red Hawk team. So it will set up a 3rd and 6 situation for the Royals. They've got a couple first downs already. Far side, Yarborough, Turner Pugh on the near side. Hayes in the flat, dropping back. Shavert's going to look that way to Hayes in the flat. He's got it. Can he get the first down? He does, and goes out of bounds.
Larkin can kill you. There's no question about it. They can kill you with the short pick passes, the little quick outs, and Matt Shabert and his receiving corps so far have been playing flawless. No jitters, it seems like, and this would be the time for jitters.
A very impressive initial drive coming your way. As far as the Royals are concerned, this will be play number 9 in this series. 3 first downs already, 8:05 remaining in the first quarter. Gonna break it with Yarborough now on the near side. Turner Pugh wearing number 8 on the far side. Split back formation. Shower, the up back. Hayes, the deep back. Pitch it back to Trevan. Gonna run this way. Can he turn the corner? No.
Mitchell Nowicki, number 4, made the big stop right there. Wasn't fooled by the play. Got right behind the, got right into the Larkin offensive zone there and said, "Come to me, baby."
Going to set up about a 2nd and 10. As you know, the Royals everyone dyed their hair on the blonde top, if you will. Even Coach Shabert is now the towhead, as we like to say. It's been the playoff run for them, week number 3, with that Scandinavian look, I guess, John Fricke. Going to set up 2nd and 10, 28-yard line. High back formation. Shabert fakes the handoff, look to the flat. He'll toss it, and it's going to be almost caught by Kyle Herman down there and almost intercepted by the Red Hawks.
Gerald Clark with a big stick. Boy, I'll tell you, defensive back, 6'2", he's a senior. That stick really popped that ball nice.
Here's a big 3rd and 10 for the Royals. They will not try a field goal from this far out. This will be 2-down territory for them, one would think, unless they want to try to coffin corner the kick on the punt.
Now the referee talking to the Naperville Central squad right there, taking referee's timeout, checking the equipment there. It looks like everything's back to working order here. As you can see in the bottom of your screen, Matt Schabert gets a play from Dale. And a very important, as you called it, Jeff, a nice 3rd and 10 with 7:23 left to go in the opening quarter.
Mike Johnson in, Cal Herman out for the Royals. Set up the passing 3rd and 10. Johnson will be wide out with Turner Pugh on the far side. Hayes will be in the flat. Near side, it's Yarborough.
Boy, these fans are into it today.
They really are. From the shotgun, Schabert fakes to the flat, going to look deep. He'll toss it across the field to Hayes. Hayes has got it at about the 18-yard line, and he might be just shy of a first down.
That fake really would just threw everybody off here, but it didn't throw off number 38, number 8, and also number 46 for the Red Hawks, Ryan Amberson, and again, Brett Anderson in on that tackle for the Naperville Red Hawks. Very interesting mark here, Jeff.
I think it should be just short. This one will be. 4th and short it will be. Drew Costas also in on that tackle. 6'2", 220-pound junior for the Red Hawks.
Nice call by Dale Schabert on that to fake left, send your men up strong left, and then come back against the grain on the right side.
12th play of the drive for the Royals. 4th and short. Let's see what happens here. Probably Matt Schabert sneak, you would think. No, he'll get it back. No, he's going to fake. It's a toss. He's looking to scamper. He might be in trouble, but he gets around the corner. He's got the first down and falls to the 14-yard line.
Give all the credit in the world for that game to Jarvis Bodie, number 55 for the Larkin Royals. He stood up his Red Hawk defender, and that's what gave Matt Schabert an extra 4 or 5 steps, and that's what got them the first down. Gutsy call, good competition is really the name of the game here today, Jeff, so far in this possession.
Schabert was caught in the water that time, but he was able to turn the corner and came away with it.
Jarvis Bodie, a big hit that got him all the time he needed to make that gain.
4 first downs on this drive. Now 12 plays, make this the 13th play here. And Schabert, singular back in the, it's knocked down by a big guy up front, big paw of number 42, Scott Urban, knocked that pass down.
Well, it's probably going to take Naperville Central a few plays and a few series to get used to what the pattern is of calling plays. They know that has been a good play for them, Larkin does, and they're going to probably not put it too far back into the coach's handbook here for future reference later this game.
Of course, Naperville Central is king of the best conference in all of Illinois football, but they don't always see this many skilled position players that the Royals of this 99 squad are presenting them here.
Very true.
2nd and 10. 15-yard line officially marked. Got wideouts, couple on the far side, faking to the flat, looking. Schabert looks, he'll run. He's going to be brought down at about the 11-yard line.
Number 47 for the Central Red Hawks, Luke Summers in on the tackle. The one thing that I think everybody seems to forget, we're so used to it here in the last 3 years as being one of the broadcast homes for the Larkin Royals, is that Matt Schabert is so cool and so calm. We don't see any frantic reactions to him. He seems to keep his head. He never, in the last couple of years, Jeff, we have never seen him really eat the ball because of a breakdown in the play or a breakdown in the line. He's always managed to bail out and bail out nicely.
That's why Wisconsin says, come on up and play some quarterback for us. 3rd and 7, 12-yard line, passing situation. Yarbrough on the far side, fakes the handoff. Schabert's going to look into the flat. He'll toss it. It's going to be intercepted by the Red Hawks. Picked off on the far side. That's Gerald Clark, is it not? Catch that number on that far side.
Gerald Clark, number 7, with the interception there. A big stab in the back for the Larkin Royals right there. So close to having a nice offensive drive, go in and get the touchdown. But again, now we're going to see some powerhouse Naperville Red Hawk line and offense go to work now. Big disappointment for the Larkin Royals, but the good thing is, if you're a Royal fan, is that it ate up a lot of time, even though you didn't get a score, but now you've got to really play tough D. Look at that front line. Look at the crowd there for Naperville Central.
And there's going to be a late flag here. Looks like the Red Hawks are going to pick up maybe a roughness thing against the Royals, and
that's going to be right. First down. Now, this is one thing you do not want to see if you're a Larkin Royal fan. If you're a Naperville Central fan, you got to love it. You get a big interception and also a nice little penalty added on, starting off at your own 25.
Instant momentum change, no question about that. The Royals had that for 14 plays. It made 4 first downs. We're moving the football. It all turned around with that interception and now the additional penalty yardage, we should say. 5:22 remaining first quarter, no score. First time the Red Hawks have it. Daniels will hand it off to Clifford. Clifford is going to move across the 30 to about the 32-yard line.
You and I could have driven cars through that hole there that was left after Naperville Central got off the ball very nicely on that.
I don't know. I've seen your driving ability. Let's think about that for a while.
Especially last week, right?
The line of scrimmage actually was at 25. I said the 35, so it picks up about a long 7 on that, makes it 2nd and 2 And Clifford, 2,000 plus yards he's had this season and 33 rushing touchdowns for Naperville Central. First man through, it's Mulholland, the big fullback, who gets stronger as the game goes on. He's a big guy, and when you wear out the line there, 6'2", 220 senior Mulholland usually gets his yardage then, but there he's going to pick up a first down.
Well, no doubt, because the Larkin, as I'm watching the Larkin defensive play, they're getting pushed back quite nicely by the Naperville Red Hawks. I mean, you've got guys like Don Baskin, 76, and Dave Hildebrand, 79 up there. It's kind of tough not to get pushed around.
Owen Daniels, 6'2", 200-pound junior quarterback. He's going to hand it off to Clifford again. Clifford's going to run to the near side, 40, 45, falls forward to the 47-yard line.
Brought down around the ankles by number 99, DJ Quinton for the Larkin Royals. Naperville having no problem moving the ball, and they get another first down.
Clifford coming off a huge game against Wheaton-Warrenville South in week number 2 of the playoffs. 29-18 victory it was for Naperville Central. You defeat Wheaton-Warrenville South, who won 4 state championships in the 90s. You've done something.
Absolutely, and that's why they're here now, and that's why they're rated number 1 in the state of Illinois.
4:15 remain first quarter, no score. First possession for the Red Hawks. Their own 48-yard line, I formation, Clifford the deep back. Daniels is going to give it to the first man through. That would be Mulholland, who moves the pile a few yards, does he not? And finally gets to about the 43-yard line.
Number 99, DJ Quinton, in on the stop there, along with a host of other Royals, 1 or 2 other Royals on that play.
That was good ball handling by Owen Daniels. He gave it to Mulholland and faked nicely back to Ryan Clifford. And Mulholland's doing nice. Carried a couple times early here in the tilt.
Just take a look at the sheer numbers on the sidelines for the Naperville Central Red Hawks. It's just unbelievable. The numbers, and I'm not talking about the fans either.
Talking about bodies in uniform. I formation, Clifford the deep back. Daniels looks over the line, shouts it out, looks this way now. Takes his time on the 2nd and 2. He'll give it to Clifford. Clifford not getting far, but he'll get close to that first down. See where they mark that, John Prigge? That's why we have you in the booth here.
And they're going to call a stoppage of play here and take a look, and they're going to bring the chains out. No, they're going to give it to him. It is a first down for the Naperville Central Red Hawks.
So their first down they will pick up. Stride started on their own 25-yard line. 1st and 10. It's now marched up to about the 42. 3:10 remain in the first stanza. Quarterfinal football action coming your way from Memorial Field in Elgin. Yours truly, Jeff Myers and John Prigge with you on Saturday afternoon. Tape delay football. Pitch it back to Clifford. Can he run wide? He gets around one man, but not much real estate out there. He'll fall forward and get across the line of scrimmage.
DJ Quinton was almost faked out on that, but he was able to beat his blocker without a problem and made the stop up there. But we did see some nice moves by Clifford. When he knew he was stopped, he made a quick cut, and that's really been his forte, according to what we're reading in all of the papers here in Chicagoland.
5'11", 180, and a senior is Ryan Clifford. 2nd and 8, 40-yard line of the Royals. Wide outs far and near side, I formation it is. Deep back is Clifford. Owen Daniels shouts it out, going to hand it off to Clifford. He's going straight up the center of things. He'll get about 5 yards.
Sean Wilson, number 69, big on the tackle right there. He saw it and smelled it and brought it home for the Larkin Royals. 69 for the Larkin Royals. He said earlier in the paper, earlier this week in the paper, that his team is going to have to make some quick scores to really have a chance against these Red Hawks.
Scores and keep the Red Hawks off the offensive field, if you will.
Keep those big guys on the bench.
Yeah, you want to keep the big guys just looking for a drink of water on this rather warm Saturday afternoon on the bench, not on that field. It is going to be 3rd and 3 here. I formation. Again, Clifford the deep back. Daniels looks over the line as he likes to do. He'll hand it off to Clifford. You might think that Clifford's going to get that first down a little bit more. Can Yarbrough catch him in the open field? He stumbles down at about the 16-yard line.
Nice play for Clifford. He's able to show his moves off and get right into that secondary very quickly.
Yes, he is. So Clifford gets the first down, their 3rd of this drive. This will be the 9th play of this particular drive. 1:35 remaining in the first quarter. The Royals had it early and marched upfield, but then an interception by Gerald Clark has turned things around for the Red Hawks here, and they get close to pay dirt. 1st and 10 it is. Take the handoff to Mulholland. No, Mulholland does have it. He'll bounce forward for a couple.
DJ Quinton again in on the stop there, and it looks like also number 69, Sean Wilson, may have been near the fracas along with Cozy McNeil. Those 3 names, Jeff, Quinton, McNeil, and Wilson, are going to be very integral on the defensive side for Larkin.
Just going to give them 1 on that. Make it about a second and short 9. 16-yard line they'll mark it at. Hand it off to Clifford. Clifford's going to run right. Not too much there. Stopped nicely by the Royals.
Number 59, Cozy McNeil, in on the stop for the Larkin Royals. Clifford was set up about 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So, again, for Larkin to be able to hold their blocks at least and stay at the line of scrimmage was a very important part for the Royals defense.
Under 1 minute here in the first quarter. No score so far. And these are high-scoring teams, so that's an amazing stat right off the bat.
Don't forget, Larkin and Naperville Red Hawk fans, we're going to have trivia. We'll have a Larkin High School trivia question the first half, Naperville Central Red Hawk trivia question the second half.
And they're doozies, so get pad and pencil if you're at home. Going to drop back. Daniels going to throw. Daniels into the end zone. It is overthrown. Incomplete.
If that ball had been dropped down a little bit, maybe about a foot, it would have been a touchdown because number 8, Turner Pugh, on the coverage was beaten and was down on the ground, so that would have been an easy touchdown for the Red Hawks, especially the way that thing was just thrown perfectly, just a little bit too high to Kevin Noel.
Obviously, this is in the range for Kyle Adams. This would be about that was third down. This is fourth now, so this would be about a 31-yarder, would it not? And Adams kicked in that area field goal-wise in the victory over Wheaton Warrenville South. So let's see. They're thinking about it here a little bit. And there's going to be a penalty, actually. As we talk, there is some kind of flag on the field going to march the Red Hawks back up.
Well, DJ Quinton looking to the sideline saying, what should we do? Decline it? But it's going to bring them right back. It's going to be holding against Naperville Central.
It will give them an additional third down, but you want to keep Adams out of that field goal range. 12.9 seconds remain in this quarter. One more play now from the line of scrimmage. It will be at least.
Big play right here,
The
Jeff.
Red Hawks, it is indeed a big play. 26-yard line. They're on third and about 20. Dropping back, Daniels and looking still. Daniels into the flat. It is going to be not caught. Almost intercepted.
Turner Pugh and number 33, Trevan Hayes, double teaming Kevin Noel there. They both talk to each other a little bit. All three of them have a nice little conversation. And that was a big play for the Larkin defense.
Let's see, would they try what would be a 43-yard field goal here. Might be a bit out of the range of Kyle Adams.
Well, he's marking
They're going
it
to try it. Kyle Adams, wearing number 88, is going to try it. 6'2", 195, a junior. He's had 49 extra points this year.
The wind kind of blowing from left to right here, Jeff Myers.
3 field goals last week. It is going to be a kick that is going to be no good, it looks like. No good. Half distance.
Certainly had the distance. It went wide left. Maybe he kind of, like you do in golf, kind of overcompensate for the wind and kind of banged it off to the left-hand side. So from the Larkin High School point of view here, you have to be happy. You had a costly turnover right down near the red zone. Naperville Central marches back, and they try to settle for a field goal and can't come up with it. Larkin takes the ball over on downs at about their 20.
And folks,
exactly their 20.
We've seen a rarity. We've seen 2 offensive behemoths go without points in the first quarter, and both had one long drive, and that was your quarter.
You're exactly right. Kind of a different look that one would expect here for the first quarter of this big game.
Indeed. Shabert, final play of this quarter beat. Here's the Hayes. Hayes not going to be able to get on track from his own 20-yard line. He'll pick up a little bit. Going to change sides of the fields here. Again, as we come to you from Memorial Field in Elgin, right here on Channel 4 in Elgin, also Channel 4 in Naperville. Exciting quarterfinal football action taking place right here. John Prigge, you got a thought for us?
Yes, why don't we go
Trivia
to some Larkin?
question?
Yes, let's go to some Larkin High School trivia question. You fans at home that know Larkin trivia, know the history of Larkin football and everything that goes along with it. Here's our trivia question for today in our first half. Who was Larkin's Athlete of the Year in 1982? I'll give you a little hint, it was the male Athlete of the Year. Who was Larkin's Athlete of the Year in 1982? Think about it, and before this half ends, we will have an answer for you.
All right.
And Naperville Central Red Hawk fans, yes, we have a trivia question for you in the second half.
Well, we've got Doc and some of their staff right here, legends at Naperville Central, and they were salivating with your trivia question. They had more stories than you do when you sit at a bar stool.
I thought it was the salty hot dogs at the concession stand.
Salty hot dogs. I saw him here today.
Is that right?
He's here.
His ship just pulled in?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
that was exciting first quarter action. These are great quality teams. Red Hawks with great tradition in recent times. The Royals, of course, with a fine season last 4 or 5 years, and what a quarter that was.
Their key players on the Royal squad, let's be honest, they've been starting since they were sophomores, and now the fruits are coming off the tree quite nicely here for the Larkin Royals.
Second aid it will be, John. Shabert drops back a long drop, looking, tossing. He will have it almost intercepted. He threw it over Yarborough, nearly picked off by a Red Hawk.
Boy, take a good look at that play. Right off the chest. Right off the chest again, and that was number 7 again. That would have been Gerald Clark's second interception in the first half.
He had it, except the chest said, no, sir.
One thing that you've got to be happy with if you're a Larkin Royal fan is that look at the time Matt Schabert gets. He gets a lot of time to set up, find his receivers. If he has to change course, drop off to a secondary receiver, he's getting a lot of time back there to throw that ball.
You see the defense of the Red Hawks as they look out there. Just a little bit on your home screen. There come the Royals offensive squad. 3rd and 8 it will be. Their own 22-yard line. This will be a toss somewhere. Schabert's got wideouts on the near side, as you can plainly see, and a couple on the far side. He'll angle this way. Schabert looks. He'll toss it to Hayes. He's in the area. Oh, it's just tipped by Clark, was it not?
Gerald Clark has really put his fingertips all over the Larkin ball here. This is the third time that he's had a chance. The first time he cashed in on the interception, but this was his second consecutive interception play in a row. I thought that Matt was going to dump off to Stan Yarborough, number 4, who was a short man on the left-hand side that nobody seemed to be paying any attention to as well. But now Larkin is faced with a 4th down and 8.
Yeah, they're going to punt it away. Dennis Tovar will kick it away. Man, that was exciting plays. Either way, either got a great offensive play, Hayes has almost got it, or nearly another interception by Clark and the Red Hawks.
So Clark is just roaming that secondary as if he owns the field.
Touched that football more than most kids do in a career.
That's right.
From the defensive way. Going to kick it away. Tovar will from his own 12. He does. Low boot it will
Nice
be.
boot. Nice
Clifford's
boot.
got to go back. He's got it over the shoulder. Own 25, 30. 35 for Clifford, wedging his way, not wanting to go down. He'll get to about the 41-yard line.
Big stop by Shimon Scruggs, who saw him, eyed him up, kept his eyes on the waist of Clifford, and that's where you don't get faked out. Brought him down, so the Naperville Red Hawks will be able to set up on their own 40. We are just into the second quarter with 11:34 left to go in the first half.
Second possession by the Red Hawks here. And a game that's seen now each team with 2 possessions. Daniels breaks the huddle. Brings the troops out. Singular back, it'll be Ryan Clifford. They might want to do some throwing here, John. Daniels drops back. Is going to be the draw to Clifford. Ryan Clifford's going to get the 45, still going at midfield. He'll fall forward to the 45-yard line of the Royals.
Big draw play for the Naperville Central Red Hawks. He was into that secondary with a couple of strides was Clifford. You can see why he and a host of other Naperville Central players are proud to hang their hat on the number 1 ranking.
They really are. About a 15-yard, 14-long yard pickup there for Clifford. 1st and 10 it will be, 11:20. First half remaining. Swiftly played first quarter it was, with 2 quality teams as you would expect. Fake the pitch, going to hand it off to Mulholland. Big John like a train's going forward. There's a pile moving.
Boy, that is really a pile moving right there. Took 3 or 4 Royals with him. Sean Wilson in on the stop there for the Larkin Royals. And again, number 55, that is Jarvis Bodie at the bottom of that pile.
We're going to check that number. That's 44 carrying that? Matthew Yellow. Is that right? Yellen. It is.
6 foot, 215-pound junior.
He moved that pile, he did. Yellen did. Makes it 2nd and 3 now. 38-yard line. And there is not much movement there.
No, stopped at the line there without any problems. DJ Quinton, I'll tell you, pushing and shoving around there. He's got an attitude with him here today.
Oh, he does.
Last Royal off the pile, Sean Wilson, number 69.
Going to set up. That was Matt running again, was it not? 3rd and 3 it will set up for the Red Hawks.
Boy, DJ Quinton's nasty today. He really is nasty today.
Couple of interceptions he had in the second
Not
round.
dirty, but nasty.
Yeah, clean hits. Royal fans beginning to stand up here. Going to hand it off to Clifford, is it not? Clifford's going to get that first down, get to about the 34-yard line. He should make it by about a yard.
You can really see Naperville Central opening up that line and just blowing the Larkin Royals back 2 or 3 feet. Dave Hildebrand, we've talked about him amongst our own private circles here in the sporting community of Elgin. 6'5", 275 pounds. He is one of the anchors along with Don Baskin. Baskin, 6'5", 290 pounds. Hildebrand has been talked about being one of the top catching prospects for the Naperville Central baseball team. How'd you like to have a backstop there? 6'5".
Truly is a backstop.
I'll tell you.
No baseball's ever got around him.
How many players are going to be stealing home when he's behind the plate this year?
No one. I might be running home. 1st and 10 it will be. The 35-yard line it is. 9:50 first half remaining. Daniels takes his time, maybe switching the play. He'll pitch it back to Clifford running left. Ryan, not any place to go. He's brought down by a host of Royals.
Well, take a good look at the first man on the stop there. That's Carlos Wilson. The nasty man, DJ Quinton, finishes him off. Nobody on the Larkin offensive line or the defensive line was fooled by that play, and they're feeling their oats right now, Jeff Myers.
Big festive crowd here today it is, John Prigge.
Absolutely, a great crowd here at Memorial Field. This field's been here since 1962. It is shared by Larkin High School and Elgin High School. Last year, it was shared by 2 other high schools in the Upstate 8, Streamwood High School and Bartlett High School.
2nd and 10 it is, dropping back Daniels, not much time, he's in trouble, he's looking, he's moving, still in trouble, scampering, looking, he's gonna be brought down, but he falls forward with a lurch.
Boy, he was really in trouble. Number 59 was really pursuing him for Larkin. Cozy McNeil just had his number and just needed a little more step in his feet to be able to bring him down behind the line, but good pursuit by the defensive squad for Larkin.
Some of the early stats, Clifford 7 carries, 38 yards. Hayes 5 rushes for 6 yards. Shabert 5 of 7 with 1 interception, 57 yards. The early stats coming away here in this quarterfinal football play from Memorial Stadium. It is in Elgin. There's going to be, what, a quick timeout, referee timeout?
I call a stoppage.
Somebody's injured. Quinton's not feeling good. Isn't that DJ not? He's going to come out quickly?
Well, let's see if we can get the camera down to the sidelines there.
Yeah. Cameraman Mike, hop down there, see what happened.
Maybe it's a mouthpiece situation, it's hard to say, but DJ Quinton comes to the sidelines right underneath, right behind Mike Lee, the assistant coach for the Larkin Royals.
Going to set up a 3rd and 9. Another tossing situation perhaps for the Redhawks. No, Clifford again. Clifford's not going to get that first down. He stopped at the 30.
Larkin rising defensively there without a doubt. Number 7 for the Larkin Royals, that's Mike Johnson, in part one of the 2 or 3 men in on that tackle. Now this sets up a very interesting 4th down. Are they going to go for it, or are they going to kick it? Somewhere along the line, Jeff, when you've got maybe a 4th and 6 and you're the number 1 team in the state, you got to kind of wonder, should we go for it, or should we? I would think they should go for it.
Well, Regis Philbin, we're going to find out right now whether that's going to happen, because here it comes. They're going to go for it. 4th and 6 it will be.
I like these calls, Jeff. I really like them.
30-yard line. They got to get to about the 24. Daniels is going to throw. Daniels in the flat. It's caught. Great catch by the Redhawks. At
Beautiful.
the 20.
Outstanding catch by Kevin Noel. They've been looking at him for a while just to see if they can work something to him, but a big first down for the Redhawks.
Indeed it was. Noel had a wonderful game against Wheaton Warrenville South 1 week ago in round 2. And he made that catch. He's their number 1 receiver on the season. That was a big play. That's a quality team. Going to a quality receiver, coming up with a big first down there, if you will.
And he'll be back next year.
Yeah, lots. We were talking with Doc and the troops. Lots of juniors. At least 7 junior starters, are there not?
Now we got a stoppage in play here is number 8 for the Larkin Royals. Turner Pugh having a little equipment problem along the sideline.
The equipment's some hitting out going on and down there, because you think occasionally that helmet would give out.
Right.
7:31, as you mentioned, first half remaining. No score so far. That's an amazing story in itself.
The referee is calling, say, hey, let's not fix it. Let's go ahead and send somebody else in. And Trinity Thomas comes in on a crucial play for the Larkin Royals here defensively. Naperville looking to knock on the door here, the Redhawks are.
1st and 10 they've got. Into the red zone they are. High formation it will be, running back. Wideouts near side, that's Noel. Shout it out, Daniels does. He's going to hand it off to Clifford. We predict that he does. Clifford will get to about the 16 at best. Pick up about 3.
Finishing him off on the top is number 32 for the Larkin Royals. First time back in a long time for Ronnie Richardson, the 5'10", 185-pound linebacker. He is a junior. He's been injured, and he is back playing for the Larkin Royals here.
Sets up about a 2nd and 7 for Naperville Central. They line up. Daniels going to quarterback keeper, it looks like, or actually the option play. He'll get it back to Clifford. Clifford's going to get to about the 11. That was a different look for the Redhawks. That's
very different look. Larkin saw that against Jacobs last year, but they are last week in their playoff game.
Let's see where they mark that, John. It's probably going to be about 3rd and 2. Another very important 3rd and 2 situation, but this is 2-down territory, although again the Redhawks with perhaps the best field goal kicker in the state, not too far away in Kyle Adams. So they can play it a couple different ways. And with a great running back of Clifford, you see the options that Coach Bungie has. 3rd and 2 from the 11. Daniels standing up right now. He's going to quarterback keep. And he doesn't get too far, does he? Let's see if he's in the middle of that pile. You call it at home. There's a body in there somewhere.
It is a first down. They're marking first down on a sneak. I don't even think the linemen got even into their defensive or their offensive stance there.
I don't think so.
But when you got some Budweiser plow horses on the front line there, boy, you got to ride them. You know, especially when you're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and God forbid 3rd and 4. You got to ride that 275 and 290-pound freight
I don't
train.
have much weight. Nobody's ever called me that before.
Well, you don't have to be blind. You don't have to have 20/20 to see that.
1st and goal it is, John. The Redhawks with it. 9-yard line, they'll mark it. Here's where the offensive line's so very important. As you indicate, push him back. Clifford's got the carry. Clifford's going to still be moving. Clifford's brought down somewhere. Again in that pile at about the 5-yard line.
A lot of tackling, a lot of inaction has really been the forte for the Larkin Royals on defense. Trevan Hayes is in on that pile, as you can see, getting pulled up. And you know Sean Wilson and Cozy McNeil cannot be far behind in that pile. Cozy McNeil, one of the last guys to get up off that pile.
Inside the 5 at about the 4, they will mark it. 2nd and goal it will be for the Redhawks. Dennis Tovar coming out for the Royals here. Howard back situation. Clifford still going. He might be in. Clifford, the score. It's good. A 4-yard run by Ryan Clifford. Let's see if there's any flags. Will be the first score of this quarterfinal action here at Memorial Field.
Clifford just about walked in. He really just walked. He didn't even get into much of a crouch as he hit the line. So good news for the Naperville Redhawks. They're able to have a guy walk in. Bad news for Larkin. Nobody there to stop him.
They scored more than 50 touchdowns this year, and many times it has been that indeed. So let's see. It'll be the PAT from Adams, the conventional way, with 5:04 first half remaining. There's the snap, the boot. It is going to be good, it looks like, from here, and it is. So with that, with the Clifford 4-yard scamper on a 14-play drive that started from their own 41-yard line, the Redhawks with that touchdown, now the extra point, lead the Royals 7-zip.
AT&T Cable Services, glad to bring you this game from Memorial Field in Elgin. The Larkin Royals, the number 24 seed in the Class 6A tournament, going against numero uno, number 1 here from Memorial Field. This field's been here since 1962. Hey, are you ready for a trivia answer, Jeff Myers?
Oh, that's right. We forgot about that.
No, I didn't forget about it.
Okay, fire away.
Our question was, who was Larkin's 1982 Male Athlete of the Year? And here is your answer. Joe Armentrout. What a great name in the city of Elgin. Joe left Larkin, went on to play at Wisconsin, and I believe had a cup of tea with the Kansas City Chiefs.
With the Chiefs, and he settled in Kansas City for a while. The story I heard, he liked it so much out there and was, I think, in more than one camp with the Chiefs. So there we go.
His legendary football coach is here in the stands as well, Ray Haley.
He's listening to the radio broadcast of this. Here's the boot by Adams. You've got all kinds of trifecta backs back there for the Royals. Yarborough's got it, almost stumbles, did not knee himself down. 15, 20, Yarborough great in the open field. He will be brought down at about the 27-yard line.
Stan looked like he was a little indecisive when that ball was about 30 feet away from him. The initial stop for the Redhawks is Drew Coxis, 6'2", 220-pound junior.
A quick note here as we talk with you, the Courier News is proud to sponsor the Royal Spirit cards for today's game. Of course, you can always read about the Royals and all sports in the Courier News, but they have passed out about 1,500 Royal Spirit cards, which you can see from time to time on our AT&T cameras. 1st and 10, 27-yard line. Let's see how the Royals respond now. Dropping back, Shabert. No, he's going to hand it off to Shower. Steed's going to run left. Shower, the upright runner, had a great game, as we indicated, against Jacobs, not going very far this time.
Couldn't get much behind Dave Van Duzen, number 67 for the Royals. Shower, again, I would not count him out. He is a guy that has been really counted on and has paid off big dividends for the Larkin Royals playoff season.
It will set up a 2nd and 9 for Larkin. Shabert gets the play. Again, Shabert's thrown for 29 touchdowns on this season. This is old hat for him to go to the airwaves. 74 completions, we should say, coming into this quarterfinal game. Shabert, split back formation it will be. He'll drop back and look to throw. He's got Turner Pugh out there. Has he got time? No, but he dances around one man and gets the pass away to no one, really. But he did get it away.
Boy, number 49 is right in there for the Redhawks. Nick Cerrante, 6'2", 180-pound linebacker, a senior there. We haven't seen, as we said earlier in our broadcast, we have not seen Matt Shabert have to scramble much in this game and all season. But there was a case where number 49, Nick, got in there and said, "Hello, Matthew."
Yes, he did. Johnson will come in for the Royals. Shabert gets the play, and you see him headed back to the huddle on this beautiful day at Memorial. Far side, the Red Hawk fans. Near side, the track and the Royals bench. That's what you're seeing at home.
Historic Memorial Field.
Yes, it is. Tell me about the touchdown you scored here years ago.
I was the only guy playing. Well, we'll get into that maybe after.
3rd and 9. Man in motion, Hayes from near to far side. Hey, they fake the dish to shower. Shaver doesn't have time again. Still dancing, still throwing. He's got Johnson in the flat. Oh, he couldn't make connections.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Nick Cerani was in on that play, giving Matt some problems, and I think Johnson was flat-footed and he wasn't able to catch up to the pass. In a situation like that, I don't know if you're an intended receiver if you should be moving constantly, but Matt was able to kind of bail out a little bit, and at least Larkin maintains possession of the ball.
Dennis Tovar is going to boot it away. 4:02 remain here in the first half. 7-0, the Red Hawks with the lead. So Dennis will boot it away from, looks to be about his own 18-yard line. Clifford, of course, is back along with Noel for the Red Hawks. Dennis will get that boot away. It's a line shot that's headed for the way of Noel. He's got it at the 32, 35 for him. He's at the 40, 45. He'll get near midfield before he's brought down in a stand-up and now rugby situation almost.
Shimon Scruggs just really worked the block of Matt Paremba, number 48 for the Naperville Central Red Hawks. Just stood him straight up, worked him, and then waited for Noel to come and put the hurt on him right there. So now, take a good look now at the defensive side for the Larkin Royals, and the offensive, the highly touted and powerful offense for the Naperville Central Red Hawks gets ready to set up camp again.
Yes, they do. But again, a low-scoring game so far, in the sports press of Chicago, from Fox Sports Net to everyone else, will be surprised at this low-scoring affair, at least so far. At 3:47 remaining in the first half, Daniel says, I want to throw. He's going to look to his left. He tosses it into the flat over everybody's head like a bullet. Noel couldn't catch it, and it was almost intercepted perhaps by Hayes or Yarborough.
Well, Trinity Thomas was playing Noel a little bit too far back for my liking, and Clifford saw that, but the pass a little too hot for him.
It was a bullet. Daniels is a very, very angular, tall, 6'2", 200-pound junior quarterback. He'd be a fullback on many teams in this state.
Well, they're such a powerful football conference, period.
They are. There's no question about that. They are simply the best in the state and have been throughout all the 90s. 2nd and 10. Singular back it is. It's going to be the draw to Clifford. Clifford's got it. And I read that, so you know the Royals did as well.
Ronnie Richardson says, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. He got in the line and just was able to make the game the first down saving tackle right there. Ronnie Richardson, what a great player he was with the Elgin Pee Wee football program. Anytime you saw a score from the Pee Wees, Ronnie Richardson's name was right there.
The Steelers, of course, was he not? And they trips down to Florida with state championships. Here's a big play for the Royals defense. If you can stop them here and force the Red Hawks to kick, although you're only down 7-0, you get that football back and you might be able to sneak a long play in. So here it is. It's going to be 3rd and about 10. Daniels fakes the draw. Daniels going to lope to the far side. He might keep it himself with the football on his side. He's going to get that first down. There is great open field running by Owen Daniels.
Great open field run, number 25 for Larkin. Almost had an opportunity to strip that ball, Carlos Wilson. And I think, Jeff, when you get a quarterback out of the pocket, running in a situation where you know that his intended receivers are covered and it's not obviously a run play, for the Larkin Royals, I think they're gonna have to start thinking stripping that ball. Just strip that ball.
That was a great run by Daniels, no question about that. 1st and 10, 2:40 remain here in the first half. I-back formation, hand it off to Clifford. Clifford is going to fall forward, almost fling himself forward to, about the 28-yard line.
I got news for you, Jeff. He didn't fall. DJ Quinton tripped him up, and that was momentum. That was a somersault like you used to do in 4th grade gym class.
Salute to Namania Komanich there, if I can say her name. It was her birthday this week, so I thought I'd work her into the telecast somehow.
Nadia Komanich Connor to you.
Yeah, that's right, sorry. 2nd and 5 it is. Hand it off. Clifford again. Clifford will be right around first down yardage.
Boy, it's hog tie time down there for the Larkin Royals, bringing Clifford down. Let's see who it was, because it was going for the legs and going for the ankles.
Really was.
I think maybe it was Luke Hall.
See where they marked that. They're going to measure that, I do believe.
Either Luke Hall or Carlos Wilson.
Timeout for Red Hawks with 2:04 first half remaining. Naperville Central on top of Larkin, 7-0.
Great fandom here from Naperville Central, no question about it. The stands on the other side of this Memorial Field are full, and that's why probably you have a lot of people, as you can see on your screen, lined up along the fence, and they're going to go, they go all the way down to the end zone there as well.
And those stands here in the end zone on the far side is the first time I've ever seen stands here at Memorial Field, as they've put a few overflow seats in there.
Well, this is a great thing for the Larkin Booster Club as well. This is really where the Booster Club, they really survive on concession sales, and they're entertained to 3 more games this year than a majority of the other 6A schools are, because Larkin, this is their 5th appearance in the Class 6A playoffs, 5th consecutive appearance.
The deepest into the tournament they've gone in the last 9 years. They lost to East St. Louis here.
Everybody knows about the powerhouses down there.
9 years ago, not in those days, the season went a little longer, so it's 9 years ago in the same time structure, 49-42 in a game here at Memorial Field. Larkin, that's the deepest they've gone since that time. So it's going to be 3rd and 1. It was just shy. So it's either a keeper by Daniels or give it to Ryan Clifford once again. Let's see how it goes. Daniels will take his time, bob and weave a little bit. He'll forget everything I said because they give it to the
first back through
man there. And it's going to be the first down when the play ends here somewhere.
Well, they're still scrumming around
They really
there.
are.
Well, the ball carrier on that was
Should be
Jonathan Mulholland. Yes.
He's going to get that first down on that.
And we got a Royal player down.
There is
Last
a
one
lot
to
of
get up
interior play, as you say there.
Well, there sure is. So Mike Johnson, the last one to get up off there. Take a great look at the powerful Naperville Central Redhawks as their offense, while they haven't been, as you can tell, they're only winning 7-0, but you can tell that they know how to march.
Chabert almost came on the field to be a defensive back for a moment there, did he not? 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Clifford's going to run right. Clifford's, tripped up in the open field. Great tackle that time by the Royals and good run by Clifford.
Stan Yarborough really, I think, saved the touchdown right there with that clip of the ankles there. Not a clip in the sense of a penalty, but a swipe at the ankles there that tripped up the Naperville Central Redhawks, and they're going to fast huddle this one again.
Yeah, let's see how they can manage the clock. The Redhawks 1:20 on that. It's going to be on the 11-yard line, 2nd and 1. Going to hand it off to Clifford. Clifford will get that first down and fall to about the 8-yard line. We would think a timeout at this point, although the clock will stop when they move the chains up here, and 1st and goal it will be for Naperville Central.
Carlos Wilson on the stop for the Larkin Royals. Naperville Central really seems to be moving the ball very well here,
as is their tradition. It will be 1st and goal, down to 60 seconds in the first half. They might have to put it in the air here eventually. High formation, Clifford the deep back. Daniels looks it over, takes his time, down to 52 seconds on that timepiece. Daniels still shouting it out with 47 seconds. He will give it to Clifford. Clifford, can he go around the corner? He cannot, brought down by the Royals.
Sean Wilson penetrated the line very nicely and was able to stop Clifford and bring him down. There's going to be a timeout on the field right now, and that is going to be called by Naperville Central. Sean Wilson is a nice player has been a nice player for the Larkin Royals. He's been counted on. You haven't seen his name in the paper too awful much, but he's been playing very level. Last year he saw some action. This year's been a great season, I think, for Sean Wilson.
Certainly, Naperville Central's in the range of field goal total of Kyle Adams.
And did you know, can I tell you a little story about Sean Wilson?
Please.
His mother makes the best sandwiches at the White Hen on South McLean before they closed. I was a regular customer, and she says, talk about my son, Sean. And I said, well, have your son do what he does on the field, and we'll talk about him. So
both the
good
son
sandwiches.
And sandwiches got some conversation.
Son and sandwiches, right.
All right. Those are my attorneys. All right, 7-0 is the count. That's a very good story.
Well, thank you. It warms the hearts of everybody.
Is she making sandwiches somewhere else now that establishment is closed?
They went from South McLean. I think they're up in Carpentersville right now. I don't know if Sean's mother made the trek up there, but for those that may be stopping in at the White Hen in Carpentersville, you know your sandwich is made with quality.
Well said.
Sean's mom is doing it.
For the folks in Naperville, you can hear John Prigge on John Prigge I Travel a Lot. He's got his own webpage, .org, and you can enjoy that. But they appreciate your history. It's going to be 2nd and goal, 5-yard lines. There's only 38.8 seconds left here in the first half. Daniels gives it off to Clifford. Clifford, can he turn the corner? Ryan Clifford will get the touchdown.
Ryan Clifford just will not be stopped on that play like that. All he has to do is make a quick move. He's known for his quick moves and able to get into the end zone, and that's where the pay dirt comes for the Naperville Central Redhawks with 34.7 seconds left to go in the first half. They lead now 13-0 with the PAT coming.
It was a 4-yard run by Clifford previously with 5:04 remaining in the second quarter. Now a 5-yard scamper that went left. That's made it 13-0 with 34.7 seconds left in the first half. Kyle Adams will come out, try to boot it through the uprights. There's the boot, and it's going to be good, as he often is. I believe that's his 51st extra point on the season. It's now 14-0 Redhawks.
Naperville Central just flexing their muscles on that last drive, Jeff. Clifford was able to make the big cuts. And again, the quarterback for the Naperville Central Redhawks, Owen Daniels, doing a great job. And he is just a junior. So Naperville Central fans are going to be excited to see this squad come back, if for any other reason, just for Daniels.
I believe Naperville Central in their victory against Wheaton Warrenville South, it was 13-0 at the half in round 2. And that game ended up 29-18. So they were pitching a shutout 1 week ago as well. So they now stand at a 14-0 count here as we have just the 34.7 seconds remaining.
Bottom right of your screen, Tom Sarasani is talking to his squad members there, getting them fired up. And Trevan Hayes will go back, Turner Pugh will go back, and Stan Yarborough will go back to receive this kickoff from the Naperville Central Redhawks.
Naperville Central fans and their coaching staff haven't seen the big strike that is capable, although there was a long pass play from Shabert to Shower. But certainly with the Hayeses and Turner Pughs and Yarboroughs, the quick strike has been in the arsenal for the Royals all season long. Adams the boot. It's going to be a squibber. Going to be taken by Yarborough on the far side. He fakes the handoff. He's got it at the 20. Yarborough will get to the 25, still on his feet, still going, still mounting a drive. He is bouncing all the way to the 42-yard line.
Brought down by Gerald Clark, Mr. Interception for the Naperville Central squad. Gerald Clark was the tackler on that play. Now Larkin will have a chance to set up. They have been able to return the ball quite nicely. There haven't been any big late stops or anything along the lines that make you think that Larkin is out of this game.
Well, let's see how the arm of Shabert will respond right here. 25.9 seconds. He's got chance for as many as 3 passing plays here. His own 42-yard line. He's got wideouts everywhere. Let's see how he plays it. He'll take the draw to Shower. Shower will get to midfield almost. Spins around and ends up about an 8-yard pickup.
While you were talking, Jeff, I noticed that Naperville Central went with a 3-man line, and that what a great time to call a draw play. When you have a 3-man line, you got 8 other guys behind you. So a good call by Matt Shabert, if it wasn't audible, or Dad? Dale Shabert.
Probably Dad with that timeout here. Royals, they've got 17+ seconds remaining. So you have a Naperville Central trivia question in the second half. We appreciate you being aboard here.
Glad to have a beautiful day here as well. That's really the name of the game. We've really been dodging some bullets here, playoff time. I mean, we're in November now, and this really is almost like an early October type of game, wouldn't you think?
Very tropical. I don't think we had this good weather in July. For November 13th, a very tropical day, and you certainly do appreciate that.
How about the press that's here? I mean, we would expect a lot of press people here, but we've got some big shots in the press department here at Memorial Field in Elgin.
Of course, our good friends from Naperville Central, Doc and company, but all Taylor Bell is down on the sidelines from the Chicago Sun-Times. We've seen him at the Royal fans saw him at the Lane Tech game a couple of Fridays ago. And there is the cameras from everywhere.
Television stations are here. You've got some big newspapers out here as well. Take a look at the size of the lenses along the sidelines here.
And your glasses at the same time.
Yes. I don't even think Bozo's feet were that long.
That's right. 2nd and 1 it will be, but they're going to put it in the air here. He's going to have Yarborough and Hayes. So look for a toss to the near side to Shabert's left. Oh, there's Yarborough with movement. It'll come back if it's a touchdown. Yarborough's got it, but again, it's going to be the Royals bringing this back. Yarborough gets the catch, but he did move towards the line before the snap took place.
A rare occurrence for the Larkin Royals. Stan Yarborough making a tipping of his hand, showing that he was going to be the intended receiver, and Tom Sarasani lets him know that you can't do that at this juncture of the season, Jeff.
Not only that, you know, the play takes 5 seconds off the timepiece just to come back. This is where you actually lose time you don't get back.
Not really a great note for the Larkin Royals to end the first half on, but they do have 12.3 seconds left to go.
I always thought I should get that time back because that play didn't count. It would only have counted if Naperville Central had intercepted.
And Larkin's going to call a timeout here. So with 12.3 seconds left to go in the first half, Naperville Central Redhawks, they're leading 14-0.
They've had 3 offensive possessions, the Redhawks have. They were stopped on the first drive, but they have scored on their ensuing second and third, capped off by Ryan Clifford with a 4-yard run with 5:04 remaining in the first half, and then a 5-yard run after a 9-play drive with just 34.7 seconds remaining in the first half. Extra points by Kyle Adams were good. That's where we stand here. Naperville Central 14, the Larkin Royals nothing.
Larkin started the 6A playoffs off with a 34-7 win over Lane Tech of Chicago. That was back on October 29th, and then that advanced them to Memorial Field here as they hosted Algonquin Jacobs. They defeated the Golden Eagles of Jacobs 48-21, and that's why they're taking on Naperville Central here on a beautiful day. in Elgin.
Shabert will get a chance to throw once again. He'll have the same configuration. Even have Shower probably go out. But he'll have Hayes in the flat on the near side. Shabert drops back. He's going to look to Yarborough again. He's got it. 45, 43-yard lines out of bounds. 7.9 seconds remaining in the half.
Brought out or forced out by Mitchell Nowicki, 6'1", 160-pound junior. And we'll give him the first down. They'll reset the chains with 7.9 seconds left to go.
At this point, unless you get somebody underneath the defense, you almost need a quick strike up top, if you will. Try a couple of those with only 7.9 remaining. Although it was a 59-yard pass play from Shabert to Yarborough against Jacobs, that was simply a slant-in pattern. But you think he's going to try to get it more end zone area here, Shabert will. Drops back, looks. He'll toss it to Johnson. Johnson the catch. He'll be brought down at the 20. Can they call a quick timeout? They do. Well, they have to move the chains up for the first down. Then the timeout will come then.
Nice strike to Mike Johnson, not normally figured in on a lot of the passing plays this season for the Larkin Royals. It's usually been Turner Pugh or it's been Yarborough.
That's right. There's the timeout now with the chains moving up. One play you would think left. 20-yard line. John Prigge, that's where the Royals will start from.
Well, going into the locker room after the first half, Jeff, you know, you have to kind of look at it from a different standpoint for the Larkin Royals. I mean, you're facing the #1 team. Things could be a lot worse. There's no question about that. But right now, they're really focusing on what type of momentum they can take into the second half.
I would think this at halftime score is just about as close as anyone's been to Central on this season, with the exception of the Wheaton-Warrenville encounters. And we know that was 13-0 last week. Glenbard East was a tough opponent. It was 31-20 the final there, and I think Glenbard East actually led late in that game, did they not? 2019-ish along those lines, and that's pretty much the season recap of tight games that the Redhawks have played. They've been so dominating throughout the year.
Dale Shabert said that Naperville Central is probably the only team that they've faced that have the same characteristics as Lake Park and St. Charles,
right.
Also upstate 8 conference foes.
We go. Everybody's going to stand. We might have to do the same. Can our cameramen see it? Everybody's up for the Royal fandom here. Here's going to be a plane in the end zone, you would think. Shabert looking. Shabert dancing. Shabert dancing more. Shabert's going to be brought down.
There goes the momentum from Larkin over to Naperville Central. 49-42 for the Naperville Central Redhawks. Scott Urban, number 42, along with his partner, Nick Zerani. They decided to just send Larkin into the locker room, hurting from a sack. And a tough way for Larkin to go into the first half. But again, there's a whole half left of football for these two squads.
So with that in mind, and you see the score here at halftime, Naperville Central 14, Larkin nothing. We talk with you. It's third round quarterfinal play, state of Illinois. As you see the Royals headed for the locker room to talk it over a little bit. We've seen a couple of scores from Ryan Clifford, a 4-yard run and a 5-yard run, all here in the second quarter. And that's where we stand right now. So 14-0 is the count. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick timeout. We're back with second half action right after these words. For second half play here, quarterfinal football action coming your way from Memorial Field in Elgin. Yours truly, Jeff Myers, along with John Prigge. Our count is Naperville Central 14 and Larkin nothing. And John Prigge, the Royals almost scored the first time they had possession of the football, and then Naperville Central was stopped. But since then, Ryan Clifford has lived up to those press clippings.
Yeah, he certainly has. There's no question about it. Clifford has really been a big offensive weapon for the Redhawks. And again, you know, he has not been the only one playing a big part into this game here. Your quarterback, Owen Daniels, just a junior, doing a great job setting things up. And I think they've done very well with Kevin Noel, another junior, number 32 for the Redhawks. A great team here we're seeing. But again, Larkin is hanging so tough into this, and they had some momentum, and except for an interception on their very first drive and some tough defense played by Naperville Central, Larkin could easily, and they still are into this, but they could easily have this game tied up.
At Shabert, 7 of 14 passing with 1 interception, 92 yards on the game. Trent Hayes has 3 receptions for 25 yards. Hayes only 5 rushes for 6 yards. That doesn't happen every day, Chauncey.
No, it sure doesn't, and I think that's one statistic that's going to have to definitely change, because your skill players for the Royals are going to have to, and you use this term a lot, step up and really show the diamonds to everybody here today.
Total rushing yardage as a team, about 150 yards for Naperville Central. Clifford, 22 carries, 118 yards they would have for offense. Again, it was a 4-yard run with 5:04 remaining by Clifford. Extra point good by Kyle Adams. That made it 7-0 Naperville Central. And with 34+ seconds remaining in the first half, a 5-yard run it would have been by Ryan, and the extra point good. And that's where we stand. 14-0 here as we get ready for third quarter action. And as you've talked throughout these playoffs, it's a new home base for the final championship games, which is kind of interesting this year, John.
Right, they're going to go down to University of Illinois at Champaign and play their the championship for all 6 classes will be held down there, and that happens the weekend of Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken.
Class 6A would play in the prime time of about 7 o'clock at night on November 27th down at U of I.
Think there's any college scouts down there for that?
Man, I think we're going down there just to see if we can scout college kids again or something like that.
Hey, I have an update on the Sean Wilson mother story.
Oh, please.
She did not make the trek to Carpentersville to work at the White Hen. Now, our Naperville assistant coaches, we were not allowed to leave the booth here unless we found an answer, and we were able to find Mrs. Wilson, and she said no, she did not make the trek. So
and again, we made arrangements with Doc, legendary Naperville Central coaching staff member, and then we're all going to go to Mrs. Wilson's house
and have her make her some sandwiches.
Yeah.
So it's a loss for White Hen.
I would guess so. That's kind of a cute story. Guys are still humming about it here in the corner.
Well, we've also heard, too, the Naperville assistant coaches have asked us, who's that number 69?
Yeah,
Sean Wilson. Said he's tough to move. He's doing it, really having a great first half.
So here we go, going to get ready again. If you were out here, wonderful crowd for the Royals. It's been a great crowd. It's been wonderful pageantry. The Courier News handing out Royal Spirit cards. We've seen them. The flags have been hanging in abundance for Royal fans here on the near side in that sea of red for Red Hawk. Is there really a Red Hawk? That we see on the far side there that has really made this a very, very picturesque Saturday afternoon in Elgin.
Two teams representing 2 of the largest cities in Illinois, too, Jeff.
Here's the boot. And it's going to be returned. Noel's got it on about his own 18-25. He's 30-35. He'll get to about the 41-yard line.
He had a great wedge for blocking. He just waited for the front men to come back and help him out, and they really helped out in a big way, giving Naperville Central the ball on their own 42.
Kevin Noel, 6'3", 185. You guessed it, a junior. Looks like a great physical specimen out there he is. 1st and 10 it will be for the Red Hawks, their own 42. This is only their 4th possession of the game. They've had it only one time in the first quarter. 2 long drives, one by each team, was the entire first quarter. High back formation it will be for the Red Hawks. Owen Daniels, again, your signal caller. Kid at 6'2", seems even taller than that, really. Going to hand it off to Clifford. Clifford at 5'11", is going to scoot his way to midfield. 45, spin still going. 40, still going. He's still alive. How can he do it? Dances the sidelines all the way to the 31-yard line.
Well, as we've said many times, Naperville Central has not seen the passing and the skill positions of Larkin. I don't think Larkin has seen the skill of Orion Clifford, able to make the quick cuts and the quick turns around, and that's really what got him those extra yardage, his speed and the ability to make those quick cuts. Down on the field there, we have a player hurt for the Larkin Royals. It looks like it's Trinity Thomas. And he's being attended to by
a 39-yard run. Yeah, Trinity's just coming back from the sick bay. About a 39-yarder that was when it was done by Ryan Clifford.
And you don't see Turner Pugh getting faked out too often, either, especially on the defense there. And Clifford was able to juke and jive past him. So Naperville Central just threatening with the ball again. I was going to say at the top of this half, Jeff, I think this is always a key point in any football game, especially one where the stakes are very high. As you can see Thomas being treated right now. The stakes are always very high in a playoff game, but especially right now when you're in quarterfinals. The reason being is that obviously one team is going to go home and pack it up for the rest of the year, but right now you've got to go, as I've said many times, you've got to go guts out on every play, and we're good to see Trinity Thomas up and getting off somewhat on his own power there.
1st and 10 for the Red Hawks, 20-yard line of the Royals it will be. Clifford, after the long run, now has his yardage at about that 160 mark. They break the huddle. Let's see how they play it. Again, the big, beefy line, the girth that the Red Hawks have up front really wears down the opposition in the second half, you would think. It's been true throughout their entire now 12th game of the season. Daniels will hand it off to Clifford. Ryan says, I got a hole for a moment. The Royals shut it down quickly, but he still gets about 4+ yards.
And number 24, Luke Hall, was in on the tackle there, making a nice stop of Clifford. Right now at the beginning of the half, as I was saying earlier, Jeff, the real name of the game is don't give up, but try and get the momentum. For Larkin, they can't allow really Naperville Central to score here because really, when it comes down to it, your momentum is really garnered right in the beginning and the end of every half.
Royals fans and coaching staff would be hoping for some kind of turnover here, much in the same way that the Royals committed in their first long drive. Hey, they're going to stop Clifford. That's a rare occurrence, brought down for a loss of 3.
Ronnie Richardson again. He worked the block off of number 44 for Naperville Central. Matthew Yellow, he was able to block him off and then just go in and get the ball. And now Naperville Central is faced with a 2nd and 5 to go, Jeff?
I think it's going to be like 2nd and about 9, is it not? They're almost back at the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 9, sorry. We had the yardage, but that down is always tricky for us. 3rd down, it will be. And 9.
Still marked 2 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's what had us guessing as well. Daniels in trouble. He scampers. We see him in the open field before. He's going to do it again. Owen Daniels, 19-yard touchdown.
What a great way to survive a broken pass play right there. What a great way. And the whole right half side of the field, Jeff, was wide open. Just nobody there. It was strong left all the way. And Matthews, Owen Daniels, what am I thinking? Owen, yes. Owen Daniels was able to just walk in. He could have crawled in, really.
So he did. You were thinking of Owen Marshall, the old television series, weren't you? Here we go.
Is that the attorney?
That was quite a run for Owen Daniels, and we knew with that good stepping ability of his. We saw that in the open field. When he gets out there, he's tough to bring down. Extra point by Kyle Adams, Mr. Automatic, for the 52nd time this year. It's good. It's now 21-0 Redhawks.
Well, Larkin is really going to have to take the ball right now and march in and score. When you're playing a powerful team, you're going to have to get the ball and get into that end zone. There's no question about it. Sometimes if you leave the fate in other people's hands, they're going to disappoint you. So Larkin right now has to look at their skilled players. We see off of your camera here Tom Sarasani talking to the receiving squad to catch the kickoff on this and just firing them up something fierce. Interesting shot on camera.
Yeah,
now.
on the far side, we saw the Redhawks as they kind of gather around. There's the entire expanse of Memorial Field. Well, the Royals lost 47-23 to Lake Park in week number 7 of the season. This game somewhat in that mode. But here, Shabert's going to put the ball in the air. You still haven't seen the quick strike. No. Naperville fans have not seen that from Hayes, from Turner Pugh, from Yarborough, which the Royals are capable of doing in scoring. We've seen them score 40 points in 14 clock minutes.
Well, back deep is the 3 people you talked about, Pugh, Hayes, and Yarborough, back to receive this kickoff.
So Kyle Adams will boot it away from his own 40-yard line. There's the boot. It's going to be on the far side to Yarborough. He fakes it back. He keeps it. Yarborough's got it on the near side. Yarborough straight up the gut, and he fumbled.
Big fumble for Naperville Central. They're on the recovery side. It is marked 2. Naperville Central, critical in this second half, Jeff Myers. Critical momentum loser for the Larkin Royals. Tough way to go.
That's a tough one indeed. So the Redhawks with it again, and they'll have it on the 30-yard line of Larkin. And the offense for the Royals doesn't get a chance to go onto the field. Yarborough's had 54 receptions on the season. A wonderful year he's had, but he lost that particular kick return.
Well, he had a nice gain going too, right up the middle of the field.
He did indeed. So right back to work. They're going to, Daniels, the keeper. Daniels in the open field. Can he do it again? This would be 30 yards. Owen Daniels, back-to-back touchdowns for the Redhawks.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he really smells that end zone. He smells what the end zone was cooking on that one. No question about it. When you run that option, that can be a very devastating weapon to try and defend against, and he ran it perfectly. Just able to keep the ball and find the end zone. And again, the whole right half side of that field, Jeff Myers, was wide open. Again, he could have crawled into that end zone. 2 big strikes for the Redhawks.
By Daniels, the big 6'2 quarterback. A 19-yard run with 10:14 remaining in the quarter. Then after the fumble, a 30-yard scamper by Daniels with 9:58 remaining in the quarter. Separated by just 16 seconds, 2 touchdown runs. Adams the boot for the 53rd time this year. The extra point is good. Naperville Central leading 28-0.
With 9:58 left in the third quarter. This game has the potential now, Jeff, of getting ugly.
Well, as far as point totals on the season for the Redhawks, they've had a lot, of course. They've 49 a couple of times, 48, 44, 41. The Royals have actually scored in the 50s a couple of times this year. So these are great offensive teams, but that can be tough. You got to hang on to the football, and couldn't do it that time in the kickoff, and that gave all the momentum right to the Redhawks, who just moved right in.
Right now, the Larkin Royals have got to settle down and realize that the big guns that have gotten them there are still on the field right now. And Mike Lee is talking to his squad on the sidelines as well, trying to fire them up, keep their spirits up, or at least get them up after those 2 big strikes from the Naperville Central Redhawks.
Here's the boot by Adams. This is going to go right down the center of things. This will be Hayes in his big showcase performance on the afternoon. Hayes, his own 15.
Oh.
He brought right down in the crowd.
Oh, he walked into smackdown. Ken Spanton, 5'10", a senior, 160 pounds, really put the hurt on Hayes.
So Hayes not getting a chance to show himself in the open field. Now there you see the offense of the Royals going out there, John Prigge, and they know they're down 28-0. They knew they were a solid underdog in this game going into it. Now pride comes into the factor that these are great performers for the Royals, closing out their careers. The Yarboroughs, the Hayes, the Showers, the Shaberts, the Turner Pughs. They want to showcase themselves. Handed off to Hayes. Trevan in the open field, still a delight to watch. He'll fall forward, get to about the 26-yard line.
The ability that Trevan Hayes has, if he's still at 100% health here, as you would think that he still is, even though we're running into the 9:30s of the third quarter, you've got to go to your guns. I think right now that you don't want to take any chances. Just hang on to the ball and just work it. Just work it into the ground and start rocking and rolling with it, mixing it up with passes and runs.
Picked up about 8, 2nd and 2 it will be for the Royals. Shabert on a 7-4 passing day hands it off to Hayes. Hayes falls forward to the first down, skids for it actually. Depending where they mark it, I think he's got it. Although we'll leave that to the eagle eyes of John Prigge for the call.
Ryan Amberson with the tackle along with number 48. That is a first down, Jeff. Matt Poremba for the Redhawks squad. We call it the Redskins because when I went to Elgin High School here in the class of 76, Naperville Central was still in the Upstate 8, and also they were known as the Redskins.
That's right.
That was changed in 1992, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. It was. It was quite the story statewide for that.
They're the only team in the state with the Red Hawk nickname.
Uh-huh.
They ought to patent that.
1st and 10. 28-yard line it is. Shabert should be throwing time here. Shabert will hand it off to Hayes, like I told you. Hayes on the near side. Can he turn that corner? Will he run out of real estate? Combination of both.
Well, big block by number 4, Turner Pugh, got him the extra yardage for Hayes. And now Larkin with the first down has a chance to move up and make some points for try to get into the scoreboard here, Jeff. The game is not out of hand, but the momentum is all with the Redhawks.
No question about that. 2nd and about 8-yard line it will be for the Royals. 8:25 remain, third quarter. Naperville Central 28, the Larkin Royals nothing. Split back formation it will be for the Royals. Wide out far side. Turner Pugh near side. Yarborough handed off to Hayes. Hayes will get to about the 40.
Naperville Central brought down by number 38 again. We've seen him and called his name out. Ryan Amberson, 6'1". He's a junior, 225 pounds. And another first down for the Larkin Royals. Kind of an impressive first down showing for the Royals.
Grinding it out. They are from their own 17-yard line in this 2 first down drives so far for the Royals. Again, wide out, so be a near side. Yarborough, this will be a throwing situation with Hayes on the flat near side. Turner Pugh on the wide out on the far side. Hand it off to Shower again. Steve will try to scoot in there, pick up about 3 yards. They know they have to score. I guess the element of surprise is the run here.
Absolutely. They have to mix it up well with their passes and their runs. As we saw, number 72, Joel Alvarez, in on the tackle for the Redhawks. Matt Shabert bringing the play in from coach/dad. You know, that's one of the things we haven't talked about, and we'll probably get into that a little bit later in the broadcast here about the three-year coaching relationship that Dale Shabert has had with his quarterback son, Matt.
Indeed. So it's going to be 2nd and about 6. Shabert will keep it, will he not?
He'll go off tackle there, kind of running a little option offense there as well. With a nice gain for Matt Shabert. You know, for our cable listeners or cable viewers in the Naperville area, Elgin High School, which is the other Class 6A school here in the city of Elgin, had a great father-son coaching relationship with the basketball team. Sean Harrington and his coach, Dad Jim Harrington. Sean is a freshman on the University of Illinois basketball squad here, and Sean was virtually a 4-year starter. He played quite a few games as a freshman, did he not, Jeff?
Yes, he did. It is going to be pitch it back to Hayes. Hayes will scoot around the near end and come away with a first down. Trevan Hayes. Speaking of Elgin High School, back when the Redskins Red Hawk controversy was going on in 1992, the first round opponent for Naperville Central that year was Elgin High. Remember, we made the trip to Naperville in the center of town, and The Red Hawks, they were already nicknamed that season, defeated Elgin 35-7 back in those days.
I knew there was a reason why I didn't like him.
There.
Just kidding. To all of our viewers.
Just trying to get a little reference for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're just having some
Very
fun.
nice.
We appreciate the skills of the Red Hawks. DuPage Valley Conference football, of course. Handed off to Hayes. Can he explode it? He cannot. He'll get across the 45, maybe to about the 43-yard line. It's a sustained drive in many ways. You don't want to lose by too big a margin in a drive like this. If it leads to a score, keeps the offense of Naperville Central off the field as well.
That's the name of the game. You've got to keep those big front line guys off of the field. Along with that, you also have to keep guys like Clifford and Daniels, especially Daniels in the second half.
2nd and 5 it will be. 5-5-5, third quarter remaining. Full house here at Memorial Field. What do you think we hold here today? 5? 4 or 5?
At least 5, I think. This is pretty well jammed up along the south end zone.
Split back formation, pitch it back to Hayes, running this side. Will he turn the corner here? He will not. They have shut that play down as well as anyone has this season.
Luke Summers with great penetration, number 47 for the Red Hawks there. A great penetration play for the defense, headed up by Luke Summers.
Jervan Hayes had picked up in the open field, if you will, 947 yards rushing on just 128 carries coming into this contest.
And we want to thank the Daily Herald, the sports staff there, John Radke, our Fox Valley sports coordinator, providing us with stats not only for this game, but prior all week, really, getting us some scouting reports on the Naperville Central Red Hawks.
Keeps us in the know. 3rd and 7 it will be. I formation, drop it back. Shabert wants to throw in the flat. He has it knocked down for the second time this afternoon, a knockdown at the line of scrimmage.
Number 72, Joe Alvarez again, 6'3", 235 pounds. Again, just a junior. Knock that pass down, Jeff Myers.
This is 4th down territory, you would think here. Will they boot it away or try to go 4th and 7 from the 45?
Well, Shabert can quick kick. We've seen that happen.
With the left foot. He has done that. I think they're going to try to go for it here. They're down 28-0. Just 5 minutes, third quarter remaining here at Memorial Field. So they break the huddle, and we should see the passing game here of Shabert if he gets time. Take a good look at this. He's been a sensational starter here at Larkin and headed for the University of Wisconsin next year. Shabert drops back, looks. He's got some time. Yarborough will have it knocked away. That one hung in the air a little bit.
Boy, it sure did for Naperville Central. Joel Havig, 5'10", 170-pound senior, made the tip away there.
Actually, Joe Havig, we're told by...
Sorry about that. I see those double A's, and I want to go A instead of A.
Well, you had good schooling. You can be proud of your Elgin schooling. Just don't use it in this case.
That's right. 4:55 left, Jeff, in the third quarter.
Turnover and downs. Boy, that's something... we just hope that the Naperville Central fans can get a chance to see some of the skilled position performers here of Larkin for the tilts out. And Central, a powerhouse as they have been throughout the season. Looking forward to U of I territory. It is going to be Daniels. He wants to throw as well. Daniels looks again. He'll toss it. It is Clifford, the catch. Ryan Clifford has got it. He might go all the way. A 55-yard touchdown play.
I saw that.
Daniels to Clifford.
Jeff, I saw that play develop. DJ Quinton was beaten on the play. Stan Yarborough came wide over to try and get the interception. And again, he was just maybe 8 to 10 inches from our vantage point away from intercepting that, but Clifford again goes in for the touchdown. Naperville Central threatening to walk away from this game and get Larkin ready to start their cars and go home.
I want to tell you, Naperville Central has, in the last 3 plays, has 3 touchdowns.
You know, the funny thing is a lot of people are probably going to wonder what happened to Naperville Central in the first half. If they're able to score at will on this defense in the second half.
Extra point for the... I've lost count. 55th time this year. It's going to be Kyle Adams with the extra point good. 35-0. Naperville Central. They've scored. Owen Daniels, a 19-yard run. Then after a fumble, a 30-yard touchdown run by quarterback Daniels. Then after a change of downs possession, a 55-yard pass play from Daniels to Clifford. That is what has happened.
Let's go to our Naperville Central Red Hawk trivia question. How about that for everybody? Take a good look at this. Who is the Red Hawks' oldest football rival? Who is the Red Hawks' oldest football rival? Naperville Central fans, think about that. Go make a sandwich.
Besides suburban traffic, you're talking about.
I'm talking about football.
Oh, team-wise.
Yeah, 28 stop and go lights,
right.
as you call it.
Ogden Avenue.
That's right.
Mobile.
That's right. So think about that. We'll have an answer for you by the end of this game here for you Naperville Central Red Hawk fans.
All right, and we're happy to be aboard, allowed to talk to you in the Naperville fandom. I know you have a great crew in Naperville that's done a wonderful job this season. on the televised game. Hayes in the open field. Hayes at the 10, Hayes at the 15. Hayes still on his feet, not for long, 23-yard line.
Speaking of 23-yard line, looks like that, no, it was number 27 for Naperville Central on the stop. Brian Euler, 5'10", 170-pound junior. You know, we keep calling these names, Jeff, for the Red Hawks, and how many times are we saying junior, junior, junior? It's a factory. It's a factory at Naperville.
A wonderful weight program. They really have gotten into high school football in a big way since Naperville exploded from what? 25,000 folks maybe in the mid-70s to, on the sign you say 118,000, you probably mean 140.
They're a couple subdivisions away from being the second largest city in Illinois.
They are incredible. Right next to Aurora, you got a huge population base there. Hayes in the flat. He'll get to the 30.
Brought down by number 8 and number 38 for Naperville Central. Number 8 Brett Anderson and Ryan Amberson.
Combination there doing nicely. All good school colors. You always like when you're on the far side, as you've seen on your television screen throughout this telecast. Everyone decked out in red for the Red Hawks. Going to be the wideouts on the near side. Turner Pugh on the far side. Hayes in the flat on the near side, along with Yarborough. Shavert's going to run. Quarterback keeper. He'll spin around and get a couple.
Well, Amberson was able to peel off of his block of number 45, Jacob Weiss, to put the stop on Matt Shavert.
Going to be a third down and looks like just shy of the first down marker.
Referee's timeout. Looks like maybe Matt is shooken up a little bit.
Or they're going to measure. Are they going to bring the chains out to measure?
Oh, there
they are. There they go. That long walk out there, as you can see there, that's exercise there, John Prigge. Far side to near side to get the measurement.
You know, and really a testament to the quality of both of these teams. We have not had that many flags this game.
Hardly any at all.
We'll probably
early in the game.
You think we'll be home by sundown?
Just 3 flags. Well, this time change is still affecting me. I have no idea. Take away part of my nighttime hours.
Your watch is on Vegas time.
Yes, it is. I refuse to change. It's just 3 flags on the game. 3:52, third quarter remaining. It's 35-0 Naperville Central. As we talk with you from Elgin and Memorial Field, we thank our great cast and crew. Also being out here and doing a great job. 3-camera video we have for you. Mr. Hicks, the AD at Larkin High School, for his accommodation. As a lot of folks are being squeezed into the field here at Elgin High School, which is really the home base area for Elgin High School. Larkin comes from west to east to play here.
Always nice to have the Downers Grove North assistant football coach standing in front of us.
Yeah, it is. You can almost, you're reading his hat.
Yeah, we've always wanted to know what a purple hat looks from behind. Right. Looks like. How about that?
Those Downers Grove North, right?
They're here scouting the game.
Yeah, they would play Glenbard East in this tape to let you know the outcome by now. But North against Naperville Central has happened many times over the years, hasn't it, fellas? It has. They're a great matchup. They're separated by about 6 miles, as we said, along Ogden Avenue almost. So there, as we go, 1st and 10, we had that. You talked my way right to a first down. Thank you. 1st and 10 it is. Here's Shavert. Like to see him throw a little bit to put that sphere in the air, into the flat to Turner Pugh. Pugh's got it about the 43-yard line.
Well, again, you're not going to see any broken tackles here or any sloppy playing from the defensive side from Naperville Central. You're either going to have to make your move and get out of there quick or just get ready to go down. Naperville Central, we talk about their offense. Their defense has held really a powerful Larkin offense down to no points.
So far, yeah, and that's in a season that seen the low was 9 points against St. Charles. 23 against Lake Park, but outside of that, it was usually 51, 53, 47 points in a game, 48 points in a game against Jacobs. Was the second round to play. Shower on the fake pass. He's going nowhere.
Boy, he's going nowhere, and he's going nowhere fast. Number 49. Again, Nick Zerani smelled that coming all the way. He was able to make the initial stop and had some help from his buddies over at the Naperville Central squad. So very interesting situation for Larkin left now with a rolling clock of about 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the third. And again, it's third down and about 3 to go.
3 touchdowns for the Red Hawks in this third quarter. Neither team scored in the first. It was 14-0 at the half, and that's how we arrive at the 35-0 marker here on a sunny day in November at Memorial Field. Probably break a record temperature-wise today, you'd think. We have the air conditioning running on our back, and I defy anybody to tell me that has happened on a November day. Here in the near side, Turner Pugh catches that. He'll roll to about the 47-yard line. Looks like that should be a first down. Incomplete it was, as we said.
hard to see as when they come to our
Well, it
angle
really
here
was.
as well. But
He fooled me. That's why I went to referee school for a weekend and just didn't pan out, did it?
no, it didn't. Maybe you ought to
Re-enlist.
maybe ought to get out of the Elgin Community College mode here of
That's right.
things. Go to a professional school dedicated to referees.
4th down and 3. The Larry Nemmer School of Refereeing coming our way. Larry Nemmer's an NFL ref, former principal at Elgin High, of course. We saw him at an Elgin eatery in recent times. Still reffing in the NFL. 4th and 3. Schabert looks. Schabert tosses to Hayes behind him. Turnover on downs. It didn't connect between two legends in Larkin Royal football history. Schabert to Hayes.
And again, that's where you're going to want to really put all the eggs in your basket if you're Larkin, to try and get on the scoreboard, try and make something happen for yourself here. With 1:52 left to go in the third quarter here. Look at the big fandom from Naperville Central. Red Hawk fans, you've got a lot to be proud of not only your football team, but the fan support. I bet they probably didn't know what it was like to drive on roads that weren't littered with traffic lights when they came out here to Memorial.
That's right, although we're pretty congested ourselves.
It's
nothing to joke about.
No,
you know.
it isn't.
Those driving stories by John Prigge again. Check his webpage.
On CD.
1st and 10, 43-yard line it is. Coming away here for the Red Hawks. They have scored on the last 3 times they've had it from the line of scrimmage. That string, will it continue? Well, they'll move the football, but they will not score this time, but they pick up a first down.
Ronnie Richardson in on the stop there. The pass complete to number, take a good look, number 3.
Brad Spencer.
Yes.
The wide out, 5'11", 155, and believe it or not, a senior.
And we've got a player down for the Royals here. Let's take a look and see who that is.
We can't
Tough at this angle.
that number here, no. We wouldn't be able to tell here, so if he's all right.
I think it might be Sean Wilson, number 69. Yes, it is.
Might have hurt the ankle a little bit. He's played a great game. We've called his name many times.
Yes.
On this day, you're getting a better view than we are here, as Coach Schabert stands in front of Sean at this point.
Sean, one of the many seniors that are on this squad for the Larkin Royals.
Yep. This was a team that was earmarked to peak in '99, if you will, and it's been a tremendous several-year run for Coach Schabert and the Royals, and being very competitive for Naperville Central fans hearing this and watching this. Larkin went to the playoffs 4 years running, unable to get past that first round until this year. This year they've gotten deep into it in the third round.
This is really Larkin's first year in obviously the last 3 were Vince Weber, who is now at Central Michigan State University. Is that right, Jeff? CM? Central Michigan? CMSU?
Yeah. I
Where
think you're correct on that.
Right. Vince Weber, still in the state record books, is one of the top all-around leading ground gainers for Class 6A, IHSA. I think Vince is out for the year with a broken jaw.
Wow.
It's a tough way to go down in
really
football.
Is. In any aspect, that is difficult, and that affects your weight and how you can beef up a little bit. That's very difficult for a football player. 1st and 10, 28-yard line. Daniels fake the handoff, look, the toss to a new man out there. It might be stopped right at about the Hinsberger, that is. Pat Hinsberger, that was, 6'4", 240-pound tight end. That's his first reception.
You take a look at the stats on him, and you wonder why haven't they gone to him a lot? 6'4", and playing a tight end position.
He looked huge out there in the open field. They have many weapons. There's no question about that. You could be an exceptional football player and be about 6 deep on the depth chart at Naperville Central.
Take a look at the flag being thrown here as well, marked off against Larkin. This is going to be trouble for the Larkin Royals. Let's take a quick look here and set the first down for the Naperville Central squad, as they're really knocking on the door. This should be an easy walk-in for them. If anything in the second half is indicative.
On the 3, they've got the power back field. Clifford, the run. Clifford, another touchdown. Ryan Clifford with his 3rd, make it 4th touchdown on the afternoon. 3 rushing in 1 pass play.
You got to give a lot of credit to that front line, Jeff. I mean, that really has been the key to the success for the Naperville Central Redskins. I'm sorry, the Red Hawks. I'm going to call them Redskins one more time. Will you
I think they're...
give me a scalping?
I will just slap you, but I can realize the confusion on that. That's a 3-yard run, their 4th touchdown of this third quarter.
And we hate to see the scores come up like this if you're a Larkin Royal fan, but at least it got the scouts from Downers Grove North to leave the building or leave the area here, so now we can see the game.
In the last 6 plays from offensive line, if you will, from the line of scrimmage, 4 touchdowns for Naperville Central. They've had a 19-yard run by the quarterback Daniels, a 30-yard run, a 55-yard pass play from Daniels to Clifford, and that was the 3rd play on that drive, a 3-yard run by Ryan Clifford. And for the first time this afternoon, I'm hearing the Naperville Central coaches. It's suddenly 42-0, and I hear voices. Where were they when it was 0-0? As they're not too far away in the scouting department for us here. So 42-0 it is. Naperville Central.
Well, Larkin really needs to score. I think from a self-respect standpoint, more than anything else, they need to score. And I think that they do. Nobody wants to get shut out, but if you're going to get shut out, you want to get shut out by a team that really is as powerful as what we've heard about them all season long.
Yep, no question. Kyle Adams will boot it away. Adams with the kick. It is going to be on the, well, right down the middle. It looks like it's going to be taken by Hayes. Hayes in a loping gallop will get it. 25, 30, still going. He's still on his feet, 30. He'll be pushed out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Now there's going to be perhaps a illegal block by the Royals there as they get close to the sideline.
Well, Gerald Clark, who has been a big instrumental force for Naperville Central on the defense, had him, and looks like he was applauding the call by the referee. Looks like it's going to be an illegal block.
A face mask it's going to be, actually, against the Royals, so it is negativity against Larkin. They'll bring that back.
Boy, you hate to see it. You don't want to call it, but it looks like Larkin's wheels have kind of fallen off here a little bit in an attempt to try and get into this game, or at least scratch the scoring column here, as we have 1:02 left in the third quarter, and Larkin down 42-zip.
Again, if you're joining us late on the tape delay here, Channel 4 in Naperville on a Monday night, it has been 4 touchdowns in this quarter by the Redhawks, including a couple by Ryan Clifford, and Clifford on the game as per usual. This is old hat to you guys. 4 touchdowns on the game. Final minute, third quarter. Shabert's got the I formation backfield. Yarbrough on the near side. He'll pitch it back to Hayes. Trevan falls forward, but not for much. Hayes totally stopped here against this very tough DuPage Valley Conference champion.
Well, again, we talk about the names for the Larkin Royals like Shabert and Hayes and Yarbrough and Pugh and a lot of other players on this squad that really kind of grew up and followed in the wake of Vince Weber, the great running back here for the Larkin Royals. And again, it's those guys that we hope to see some kind of flash and brilliance, as it looks like this could be their last high school game.
Second and just about 6 it would be. Hayes once again will get the handoff. He'll be shy of the first down.
Stop made by number 55, Kevin Yezel, 6'1", 195-pound senior. And that is the end of the third quarter here, Jeff Myers.
A third quarter that again saw Naperville Central score 4 times and move that score up to 42-0. We've got some stats. Again, we appreciate that from Don Radke and the troops on official stats. As we have coming your way, Clifford, a 26 carries, 146 yards. As Hayes has just 36 rushing yards in this contest. Shabert at 9 of 20, just 45% and 1 interception for a 106 yards through the air. Naperville Central with 338 unofficial yards to date so far.
All right, let's go ahead and answer our Naperville Central Redhawks trivia question. Our question was, what is Naperville Central's oldest football rivalry? Are you ready for the answer?
Let me hear it.
Let you see it.
Let me see
Wheaton
it.
Central, 1912 to 1991.
Wow.
Wheaton Central. Now, we told Doc and the assistant coaches here that we would not mention what the series record is between those two rivalries, and it was all going to depend on the score. So, seeing the score is 42-0, the rivalry is 44-21-1, Wheaton Central leading. So no offense, but you guys did it to us here. Okay.
There you have it. But with an update, Wheaton Central evolved into Wheaton Warrenville South.
Right.
They just said, let's name it for Red Grange, but move it about 8 miles closer to Naperville. And so that's the historical footnote of that. Shabert drops back to toss. Does he have time? He dances away from one man. Shabert in a gallop gets it to Hayes in the open field. Trevan catches it and falls out of bounds. First down.
This is a game that we have not seen Matt Shabert scramble too much on, as we see a player, Steve Schauer, down on the field as well. I haven't seen that many Larkin Royal players get injured as I have here today in this game. So Steve Schauer down, and he's going to be attended to by the Larkin staff.
Indeed, looks like that might be it. Looks like the right ankles are in peril here with the great size and girth that Naperville Central has.
Well, it's a perfect game for football, so you hopefully are not looking at cramps or heat exhaustion or anything like that.
Very warm, though. Very warm. Although my back is chilled with that very convenient air conditioner here, but that's all right.
You should work on doing a broadcast with your shirt on.
Oh, well, sometimes. I'm trying to get a little tan late in the year. I don't want to go to Florida this year, so I've decided to get a tan with our tropical weather. All right, that's our count. 42-0 it is with the injury out there. And again, a great salute to everyone who helped us out here, and as you mentioned, to John Ratke for his help, from the Daily Herald for his stats, to the Courier News, who were very proud of the Royals, and Royal Spirit cards were handed out here, and they said the Royals on one side, defense on the other. And, of course, here's a big, nice round of applause. Shower, there's a wonderful story in one of the Elgin papers recently. Steve left last year's team late in the season, said he missed it too much and was able to come back this year, and the senior had a very good year.
Well, he sure did, and his playoff capabilities were really exposed in that Jacobs game last week as the Larkin Royals defeated Algonquin Jacobs 48-21. He was a big go-to guy for the Royals.
Schaber on a 10 of 21 passing afternoon. We'll set it up one more time. Singular back he has there. It is going to be the draw play.
Ronnie Richardson.
Richardson just back from sick bay. Will get across midfield to about the 49-yard line.
Richardson's first time, I think, in the backfield. For sure his first carry. So Richardson looking for some peewee success here. Getting the first down for the Royals at about the 50-yard line.
When was the last time the Royals would be shut out? Can you do it at the top of your head?
You know, I really don't know. Maybe that's next year's trivia question. That could be.
It's 1st and 10. The guys in the booth are already talking about next year down way here, Elgin-wise, but it's been a tremendously exciting season for the Royals. No question about that. Schaber will drop back. He'll keep it. Didn't have the slant in there, so he'll get a wonderful open field runner he is, as you can see. He'll dance all the way to almost the 30-yard line, and looks like one of the Red Hawks might have got injured, but he's all right.
Turner Pugh put a nice stick on number 55 for Naperville Central, Kevin Yezel. And that's what got Matt a couple extra yards here. So
seeing Naperville must bring back those Upstate 8 memories you said from school, but in the 60s, Upstate 8, in those 70s, Naperville, singular, no Naperville North in those days. They didn't play varsity football and sports until 75. Naperville against Elgin in that time frame was very exciting and true Upstate 8 matchup.
In the 70s, when I went to Elgin High, Naperville had a very strong swimming and diving team.
It is going to be 1st and 10. Going to be handed off on the draw to Richardson again. He'll get across the 30 to about the 27-yard line.
Boy, we see some nice tackling there by number 46 for Naperville Central, and that's Drew Coxis, and a number 38 as well. We've called his name awfully a lot here today, Ryan Amberson, on the dual team tag.
9:45 remain in it. First, 2nd and 3 it will be at about the 27-yard line or thereabouts. For Schaber and the troops, again, Matt Schaber, number 16, you see, is headed for Wisconsin. Trevan Hayes, his teammate, announced earlier than did Matt to Wisconsin. He's in the flat on the far side. So they'll continue their college career together, and there you almost saw it, knocked down for the 3rd time, line of scrimmage, a pass from Schaber.
Scott Urban with the touchdown, or with the rejection on the touch. And they were designed to go to Trevan Hayes, maybe using Richardson as somewhat of a decoy.
It will set up a 3rd and 3. The Royals, Yarborough, number 4 out there. As you look at the defense of the Red Hawks, and you can be proud of that defense. They bend a little bit this year, but as Coach Schaber said, they very seldom give up a lot of points. They're tough in the red zone. Schaber from the shotgun will drop back and look near side. Toss goes to Turner Pugh.
Oh, nice gain for Turner Pugh to be able to get on the pass completion there, as well as Larkin really would like to score, and they do not want to go out of this game shut out. That's a bad way to leave the season as well, but especially with a nice playoff run they've had here, starting with Lane Tech a few weeks ago, defeating the Indians there and taking care of the Golden Eagles of Jacobs High School the week after that, bringing them here to take on the Red Hawks.
Pugh now with more than 40 receptions on the season. He entered the game with 38. Trevan Hayes had entered the contest with 39 receptions as well. And it's going to be 1st and 10, 14-yard line. Schaber into the end zone. He's tossing to Yarborough over Stanley's head and nearly hit somebody walking away from the contest. Casually, you turn around, Mo, and I got a football to go.
Looks like a Leslie Nielsen movie.
It was. That was incredible. Perhaps she's hard of hearing because that actually was awfully close. That was so casual, wasn't it?
I think we ought to get an autograph of that intended receiver.
I think so. A Lady Palm nearly came away with Whatever that might be, a great Red Hawk fan on the far side. She was so casual with the action coming your way.
Well, if she's from Naperville Central, she's seen a lot of plays like that, I'm sure.
No problem.
Yeah, no biggie. Let's go on.
Got a big guy running my way, 4 feet from my nose.
Yeah, when does basketball start?
Yeah, I guess. 2nd and 10. At least it looked that way from here. We toss that into the fair. 2nd and 10. Is that a play that's going? Shabert brought down. Boy, that was slow developing. I thought I heard a whistle.
I thought I heard a whistle, too. Scott Urban says, I play to the whistle.
I guess so. Whatever that was, trickery and skullduggery did not work that time for the Royals. They had it against Lane Tech a couple of Fridays ago. 3rd and 15 it will be. 6:55 remaining in this. If you joined us late, 42-0. Naperville Central on top of that.
Well, one thing I want to say here, Jeff, the one thing that we see from other teams a lot of times when they're in a definite winning situation, you see a lot of the fandom leaving. Naperville Central Red Hawk fans are hanging in.
Yeah, they're great fans. This is old hat to them. You enjoy these seasons. Shabert, the toss to Yarborough. It's going to be a 20-yard touchdown pass from Shabert to Stan Yarborough.
Great pass play from Shabert, and it may be a little redemption for him as Gerald Clark, the defender on the play, was beaten on a precision pass to Yarborough. Big score for the Larkin Royals here. 6:35 left in the game. They're still down 42-6, but a good way to get the fans up and ring that bell.
No question about that for Stan. That's his receiving 10th touchdown on the season. And he's now right around 1,000 yards for his senior year.
It's great. Another great way to close out the career for Stan Yarborough, who had some eligibility problems against Lane Tech in the first round of the playoffs, was able to beat those and come back strong in the playoffs for the remainder of the season.
Going to go for 2 points. Shabert. He's got Hayes on the near side, couple guys on the far side. He's going to look to Hayes in the corner. He goes short instead, and it wasn't able to get Turner Pugh. So that makes it still 42-6 Red Hawks.
You'll be down on the field after the game, chatting with a few players and a coach or two, I'm assuming.
For our Elgin audience, we're also, we say hello to Fox Sports Net as they're getting some of the game action as well. And, of course, to our good friends in Naperville. Those season will continue. You want to check your Channel 4 listing in Naperville for television coverage of what will be either Glenbard East or Downers Grove North, will it not, for the next opponent for the Red Hawks.
You know, a good thing to mention here, too, as far as the Upstate 8 Conference fans is that out of the 8 teams, 2 of them are from the same conference here. Lake Park, the Lancers are still in the playoffs,
right,
and Larkin here as well. And locally in the Elgin area, Schaumburg doing a great job. Now, there is an up-and-coming school for not only basketball, as we saw them go down state last year, defeating Elgin in the sectionals and going all the way. I think they got 3rd place in basketball last year, and now they're playing a tough schedule here, and they're doing very well. They're also another team that's alive. The head coach at Schaumburg High School is the father of Larkin's assistant coach, Tom Sarasani.
That's right. So it's all tie-in. If you look at the final 8 teams, they're really probably about 16 miles apart, mileage-wise. Lincoln Way, I must confess, I don't know where Lincoln Way is, but outside of that, everybody's honed in. The Yorks of Elmhurst and things like that, Schaumburg, Lake Park, Naperville, just down the road from Elgin here. So here we go. 42-6, the count is. Hey, Yarborough's going to boot it away. Senior, kick it away, why don't you? Stan has the kick. I haven't seen that this year. And it's going to be taken by one of the up men for Naperville Central. That was number 4. Did my eyes mislead me there?
Brian Euler on the reception or on the pickup, and they dance out to the sidelines.
Coach Shabert saying whoever scores a touchdown next gets to kick it away. They're fighting for the opportunity. There we have it.
This gives, I think, Dale Shabert an opportunity now for the Larkin Royals and probably Coach Bungie as well, an opportunity to throw in some juniors, throw in some guys that maybe don't get a lot of playing time. I know we see that right now with Larkin on their defensive side.
Yeah, we do. We'll catch some of those names and numbers out there because they're going to bring out what we used to call the shuck troops in basketball-wise. Handoff, and same for Naperville Central. They're getting some of the kids off the bench. Get a chance. We see a new quarterback out there. Gerald Clark, did he not intercept one early? He's quarterbacking now, is he not? Number 7, Clark, is your QB. So Gerald, 6'2", 180, a defensive back, says, how about letting me QB for a while? If I get an interception, can I quarterback? It's a trade out all the way down there.
If he throws an interception, he has to drive the bus home.
That's right. And those are rugged miles you talked about. Here we
really
go.
Work that clutch.
Yeah, 2nd and 10. They're going to pitch it back, and there's going to be a fumble in the backfield. The ball is loose. Who's got it?
It looks like Larkin. Looks like Larkin picked that up. It looks like Naperville Central had it, but let's see where they how they give it. I don't see a reaction from the Larkin fans, so I must be wrong.
Yeah, I guess the Redhawks have kept it. They have kept it, and they'll have it for the third down.
And it looks like they have a player down on the field there as well along the sidelines. Not been a pretty day for the players here. We've seen a lot of players down, hobbling off, walking off. As you can imagine, with a large school like Naperville Central, they probably have 3 doctors, 2 dentists, and a podiatrist on the squad.
Oh, I would think
the team roster.
They'd have a full staff.
Maybe
see with that injury. Who's that down there, guys?
Maybe number 82 for the Red Hawks.
It's Kyle Adams. It's Kyle Adams. That's a great kicker. 55
Again,
extra points on the season.
Guess what? He's just a junior, too.
Of course.
He could be your all-time leading point scorer in IHSA
he could
history,
really,
right?
He really could have.
If he comes out next year, which I'm sure he will.
That is a good point. That's an excellent point with all the touchdowns they score and his great field goal ability. That is amazing. He's got some numbers. Here we go. Clock's running again. 4:54. Kyle must be all right. 42-6 is the count. Got the secondary unit out there for your Redhawks. Royals got many of the mainstays still out there on the field a little bit. The great seniors. Yarbrough wants to come after the football. They have a misconnection again, and do they fall on it? Do the Redhawks?
Well, Nowicki, is it Mitchell Nowicki quarterbacking? He was able to make the recovery again. Boy, you know it's your day when you fumble twice deep in your zone.
Still Clark quarterbacking. Gerald still doing double duty there, and now they're going to boot it away. Who punts for the Redhawks? That doesn't happen often. Gerald Clark, of course. Clark can do everything. How many positions can a person play in one day? That's the Clark question. Our next trivia, perhaps. Clark will boot it away from his own 15. It will be taken by Hayes. Now, here's some open field possibility. Let's see what happens. Hayes, Tervan tries to get a block. Hayes still on the move. Hayes still moving right there. He'll get to about the 47-yard line.
Brought down by number 43, Pat Spaeth. Another junior, 6'2", 185 pound. So the Larkin Royals will set up now in an attempt to get back into the scoring column again as they're down 42-6, 3:55 left in the fourth quarter here from Memorial Field. We are sandwiched in between US 20, known as Lake Street, and Route 19, known to many people as Irving Park, or in Elgin, East Chicago Street.
Going to come back here, some kind of penalty by the Royals. We'll still see the regular offense out there, so the Royals will start much deeper in their own territory. It's been 6 touchdowns by Naperville Central here this afternoon. 2 by Clifford rushing-wise in the second quarter. Then 4 touchdowns in the third quarter. Daniels rushing for 2. Daniels throwing to Clifford for 1, and Clifford rushing for another. And that is your 42 points with Kyle Adams making good on the 6 extra points. Now the Royals have come with a 20-yard touchdown pass play from Schabert to Yarbrough, and that's the scoring. Schabert in a roll, will look, he'll keep it himself, and he'll get to about the 27-yard line, picks up about 5.
Brought down by Joe Alvarez, 72 for the Redhawks, as Schabert looks to the sidelines and asks for another play from coach/dad.
And this is quite the legacy ending right here, as Coach Schabert and his dad, and his son, I should say, Matt, the quarterback, the legacy they leave here in all kinds of great numbers. And Matt Schabert was approaching numbers for all of the state of Illinois as far as quarterbacking was concerned. And again, holds the record for most consecutive 100-plus yards passing-wise in the history of the state. Does Matt Schabert. He's above that now. Steve Schauer will get the run and pick up a first down.
So Steve Schauer coming off of his injury, his little time. He probably had something wrong with the leg. Get a little weight off of it and maybe get a little extra strands of tape around it, and back up he goes.
Down to 220 for the season for the Royals.
We're also going to salute all of the seniors on the Larkin squad here as well. Also noting, too, that as been a custom of Dale Schabert, he's brought up a couple of freshmen and a couple of sophomores here for the playoff roster to get a taste of playoff action 6A style.
Schabert on the high snap will run to the left, toss it in the flat to Yarbrough. Stanley's got it.
Flags are thrown, too.
It might have been a late push on the far side.
Well, it's hard to tell. Matt Schabert got up off the pile kind of late. I don't know if the flag was thrown in his direction or if it was because of Stanley's juke to the outside. Let's see what the call is.
It is roughing the passer.
Yeah, we saw Schabert a little slow to get up after that. So now Naperville Central, I think this is probably their first 15-yard penalty of the game, and maybe the first of the whole game.
So that's how it is. Yarbrough, the 10-yard pass reception, tack on the penalty as well, and suddenly like that, this is a huge movement forward by the Royals. They're going to be across midfield to the 40-yard line of Naperville Central. Again, our appreciation to all the staff here at Larkin for all the help that they've had, and been pretty busy with either coverage on the road camera-wise or actual whole games that we telecast for you. Also, the association with WEPS for broadcasting U46 radio station in Elgin and the surrounding area. Hayes the pitch out. Trevan will get across and pick up about 2 yards.
Naperville Central with, as Jeff said, a lot of their shock troop players in on the defensive side here as well, as we look with a little problem with the clock here. 43. It's a
timeout. This might be a chance he's either going to pull everybody out for big one final round of applause or wanted to get everybody one long pass play potential. Looks like everybody's staying in. We're talking about the Trevan Hayes, the Matt Shabers. Here comes Trevan Hayes. He's going to get the round of applause. Get ready.
Yep. There he is. Hayes coming out. He's going to get a congratulatory handshake. If we can pan down a little bit. Maybe not.
Trevan Hayes, he's just out of your camera range there. Believe us, we'll do radio word pictures for you. Number 33, and there they're all coming out. Number 8, Turner Pugh. The great seniors are coming out. And Matt Shabert's going to come out. Yarborough, number 4. Everybody's saying adieu. The skilled position there now.
Now you're going to see a 3-year career in here with Matt Shabert and
right
Dad.
There it is. There's the caress, the moment there where Dad, the coach,
Mike Lee, Uncle Terry there in the sunglasses there. Class move by Dale Shabert to do that for all of his great seniors, the guys that really have made a difference here. Clint Schambach's going to come in and quarterback, it looks like, and great players here for the Larkin Royals.
And you saw that special moment, and again, the season must end either in championship form or everyone else loses, so it must end somehow.
Lars Anderson coming out, getting a big hug, number 61. Lars's mother is here as well today, so, and here's a guy that I kind of like here myself here. Jarvis Bodie's done a great job all senior season long, getting some great hugs from the assistant coaches as well, so.
That was a special moment. That really was indeed.
Yeah, we'll get a little taste of the future here with Clint Schambach quarterbacking the squad now.
Clint with the QB. Clint will get the handoff. And it's going to be a pickup of a couple of yards there. That was
Carlos Wilson.
Carlos Wilson, a 6'3 junior. And there's time for one more play, and then we're going to wish Naperville Central, the Red Hawks, well as they advance to 4th round play.
And a timeout called by Larkin with 15.2 seconds left.
So they get that play off, and again, you got a story for us, John Fricke.
Let's go ahead and read off the names of the seniors who are ending their career here on Memorial Field on a bright and sunny day here, as we see Stan Yarborough, number 4, again coming off, just doing a great job all season long. Steve Schauer, Turner Pugh, Jamar Bills, who was hurt recently, Kyle Herman, Matt Shabert, of course, and again, we run them down here and say goodbye to Luke Hall and just a ton of other players here. Bobby Ross, a senior on the squad. Dennis Tovar doing a great job. Marcos Fasto, Jarvis Bodie. Boy, the list goes on and on and on. Dan Perez here. Jason Larson, who was injured and hoped to try to get back for this game. Sean Wilson, again, we've called his name several times. Sergio Jasso and Shimon Scruggs, along with DJ Quinton, number 99. All of the seniors on the Larkin roster.
Great group indeed, and always an emotional moment. It gets even more sentimental when you think about it years later. So I hope the kids are realizing with pride the great careers they had. Schambach will toss it high into the air. It might be intercepted, and it is going to be intercepted by one of the Red Hawks on the far side. That's going to be one of the kids up from the sophomore team, I do believe, as we check that number down there. Number 21 it is. Now tell me who it is.
Joel Havig.
He's Joel Havig it is. Nice
senior.
Call. He's senior he is.
Jeff, the pass was intended for Mike Johnson, but I didn't see. He was down. I don't know if he fell down or he was pushed down, but it doesn't make a bit of difference as that's the end of the game here. 42-6. Naperville Central will march on in the Class 6A playoffs, losing to Larkin.
You can't park the sea of red that you call
Absolutely
Naperville
not.
Central down there. Camera can move it out a little bit, but you can't park that, and that's what we see there. Let's give you a quick scoring recap as we bid adieu to everyone here on this tape delay telecast coming away in both Naperville and in Elgin as well. It was a scoreless first quarter for both teams. A long drive by Larkin gave them hopes, but then it was Gerald Clark with an interception that ended a 14-play drive by the Royals. And the Naperville Central Redhawks did not score, but they did score the next time they had it in the second quarter. They would cap it off, the long drive with a 4-yard run by Ryan Clifford. 5:04 remaining in the half. Extra point good by Adams. It was 7-0 Naperville Central. Then look at that sea of handshakes there. That is a great color scheme, isn't
Very
it?
patriotic little
Man, that
ensemble,
is.
isn't it? Red, white,
Call
and blue.
me John Philip Sousa. I'm going to well up with tears. That is beautiful. A 5-yard run by Clifford with 34.7 seconds remaining in the first half. It was 14-0 Redhawks at halftime. Then it was 4 touchdowns by Naperville Central in that third quarter. Owen Daniels, a 19-yard run with 10:14 remaining. Extra point good. Then after a turnover, it was Owen Daniels on the immediate next play from line of scrimmage, a 30-yard touchdown run. Extra point good. It was suddenly 28-0. Then on the next play from the line of scrimmage for Naperville Central, a 55-yard pass play from Daniels to Clifford. It was 35-0. Then a 3-yard run by Ryan Clifford with 1:13 remaining. It was 42-0 with 1:13 remaining in the third quarter. Finally, in the fourth stanza, as you see the Royals walk off the field as this unit for the final time, a 20-yard touchdown pass play from Shabert to Yarborough. Extra point not good, and that was your final that you see. Naperville Central 42, Larkin 6.
Naperville Central fans, let's go down to the field where Coach Joe Bungie is meeting with the press.
You guys really broke it open there in that second half with the 4 quick touchdowns. And, did you just see something that you really thought you could exploit, or did it just take a little time for the kids to...
You know, we thought we were wearing them down a little bit. You know, we've got some big kids up front, and we thought we were wearing them down, and I think it came to the point where we finally did wear them down a little bit.
Clifford didn't need to carry it too many times after half.
How many yards did he have?
I had him with 158.
How many carries?
26.
How many touchdowns did he have?
4. So him and Daniels really gave you a nice spark there today, huh?
Yeah. Owens is an outstanding player, and Cliff speaks for himself. And our offensive line just kept plugging away, so we're happy with the outcome.
Larkin had that first big drive of the game, and you guys got the turnover, and it seemed like that was really the key to taking the momentum, huh?
Yeah, that helped a lot, you know. Lombard East Rams.
The Redhawks, as you know, defeated the Rams 31-20 earlier in conference play. Congratulations once again to Naperville Central. And repeating the final one more time, the Redhawks 42, the Royals 6. Thanks for watching. For the cast and crew here in Elgin, I'm Jeff Myers.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not. Can't tell you how proud I am that you came out here. You put it to them for that. Don't think that they didn't find out at halftime they got chewed there in a ball game. You got to ask these guys for a long time. You played great. You played a great season. Again, you've only lost to teams that are playoff teams. It says a lot about you. Now, please do not walk out of here today without thanking the coaches. I know what they put up and done and how hard they've worked and how long they've been away from their families. Thank the seniors for what they've showed you for 4 years. Seniors, thank everybody for everything done to help you get to this point.